Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes.
By the power of Grayskull!
I have the power! I am dumping unlimited power into you. That's what
all Shooty wanted to do was be inside me. It was one of the first James Bond movies I watched, so I have a bit of a connection to it. And
that's Dermot's excuse.
I don't fuck.
It was their first date, Adam. Shut up.
I will stop bringing it up. I don't give a fuck what that wannabe VTuber cunt wants to say. Okay, let me have my moment.
Dude, that's like a test of strength. That's not gay. That's like I'm gonna grip you. I'm gonna grip you harder than you grip me. I wonder what the championship belt would look like. Just like a big ass.
This would be my penis wrapped around their waist.
We named zombies after you in that game.
Yeah,
rightfully so.
Yeah, I mean, they're these big fat bloaters that sun themselves and they just lay there.
Yeah. Oh, those are the things that come out of my rainbow's ass.
Adam, you being Worf is cultural appropriation. I won't
cultural appropriate my dick. I don't care. I will have earned my riches and my surly attitude by the time we get there.
If I were going to culturally appropriate your dick, you'd have to go get that surgery. To
good lord, here we go.
Yeah.
That is just.
Oh god,
those eyes, dude. Those eyes, man. Those eyes.
Pretty eyes.
I'm not looking at them eyes right now. You know what?
I know, but she is a total package. She is a total package.
I usually think Ryan. I usually think Ryan is very cringe when he says this, but she can shit in my mouth.
Whoa, Dermy!
Why do you have to ruin this?
What the fuck?
Why
Ryan says that shit. Fuck. Ryan says this shit.
If Ryan jumped off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge?
But you just
for her, yeah.
Would. Here we are worshiping this beautiful woman, and you're talking about German shit eating. I mean, come on.
Listen. I will drag my ball sack.
No. Listen.
100 miles worth of
shut the fuck up.
Broken glass, salt, and lemon juice just to smell her farts.
We're not on your goddamn stream. We're on Adam's stream. We're
wow,
supposed to respect the man's house. You don't take shit in his goddamn fridge.
They warned us about people like you.
I still enjoy it. It still makes me laugh. I wonder if I should keep doing it.
Nice to see that my outburst about Die Another Day is there.
That was a good one. Because I'm like I was gonna leave that one out. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Mellow Mondays. We took last week off. One, I was tired, and two, we were late because of Gal on Devil's Angels, so we ran late. I blame her every time. But we're here. We're gonna relax a little bit tonight. I got a couple things we can talk about. One of them, definitely waiting until Samuel gets here. One we could start without him. If we get there in time, and we'll see where the night takes us. As always, I hope everybody's had a good Monday. Thank you all for being here on this Monday evening. I know it's busy, lots of streams going on, but you've chosen to hang out with us for a little bit. If we're one of your choices, I understand some people watch a lot of different streams at once. If you've chosen to be with us live, thank you. Hit that like button. And Devil, how you doing, man? Doing okay?
Oh yeah. Tired, but otherwise, yeah. Good day so far.
Yeah, I was up way later than I should have been last night for reasons that I don't want to disclose. And the sun was coming up when I went to sleep, and then it was a fitful sleep through the morning. I eventually pulled my ass out of bed, and then it was just to kind of get things done today so the rest of the week doesn't fall apart on me. So I could go to bed right now. I could crawl into bed and I could go to sleep. And then I'd probably wake up in 3 hours, be like, what the hell? Because it's still actually too early for me to go to sleep. Anyway, hey, Bug, how you feeling today?
I'll be honest, it was a long day. Some stuff that I'll mention off camera, obviously, but yeah, that's all said and done. The weekend was eventful, I guess, beyond stuff and editing, trying to get things going. And honestly, I'm just looking to chill, decompress for a couple of hours, relax.
Yeah, we hope that happens. We always want it to be like that. I mean, we're not going to talk. We are not talking Dragon Age tonight. We are not. I said everything I want to say yesterday, unless somebody brings it up in a super chat. I'm not going to talk about it. So we are not going to go to places that make us sad tonight. Well, we might unintentionally, but I am not going there to make myself feel sad and be filled with dread. So that ain't happening. We are going to try to have some fun tonight, to relax, this and that, and just chill out, do a normal ass nerd stream, and have some good time. Samuel will be here soon. There he is. He is on his way. He will join us. And we will then have tonight's that I know of full crew. You never know who else might show up. It is an open door. But we hail everybody in the chat. We had a Dermy raid. I guess he finished his stream. Good for hi everybody from Dermy's chat. Although we share the same audience, so you might have been here anyway.
Anybody from Dermy's chat, go tell him he's a bitch and he needs to get in here.
I don't know. He might have actually gone to sleep. He might have gone to sleep like a bitch because he has to get his beauty sleep because he has to go, shovel hay or shit. I don't know what he does.
Well, clearly that beauty sleep ain't working.
Bears hibernate.
Listen, all right. I got to bring this up because I got brought into this thing from yesterday. For no reason, I wasn't involved. I took the night off after Roundtable last night. I took a nap, I ate some dinner, and I started playing a game in private, private play game. And then I get messages, Adam, you need static. Goes, Adam, look at this. Dermy says, I feel my tipples or some shit like that. And he's like, don't tell Adam. So, of course, everybody starts telling me. It's like why am I being involved in Dermy twisting his tipples? Why? I don't know.
I'll be honest. I think it's just more of like give you material at best, and maybe just to have like fun at your expense. Because honestly, I was just I got a little tired of the tipple thing because Derby kind of went overboard with it, and I'm just like,
when does Derby not go overboard with something?
I don't know. I was just not feeling I was not feeling good mood at that time, but he just kept going with tipples. I was like, dude, stop with the fucking tipples.
He does it with everything. You have a list of it. Back taco. How long were we abused with that shit?
We still are occasionally.
Yeah. He takes something and he beats it to death till you're like so sick of it, you don't even want to fucking hear it. Like,
I mean, I've said this multiple times. He's ruined tacos for me. I can't even go.
I never liked tacos anyway. So
I can't even drive by a Taco Bell without fucking thinking of that motherfucker. And what's fucked up is there's a Taco Bell literally right next to the grocery store. I go to grocery shopping, so whenever I see it, I just go.
I could just see he wants a taco so bad. Bug goes in, orders a taco, and he's like walking out, and he's like, "I can do this. I can do this." The girl says, "Come back," and the back triggers him. He goes, he turns around, throws a taco at her. Bitch.
I'll be real. I've only ever went to Taco Bell like maybe 2 or 3 times in my life. Most of the tacos I have are usually like homemade because I just get some like ground beef and just cook them up myself. I'm a basic bitch with tacos. It's just
say white girl about tacos.
I'm not complicated. It's just ground beef, cheese, the fucking tortilla. There you go. I'm done. Maybe I might add seasoning.
My first exposure to tacos, I went to this stupid ass private school when I was a kid in Jersey, and the lunch was a bomb. It was a private school, but the lunch was terrible. The lunch hour, the kitchen made the worst shit you can possibly imagine. And once a month was Taco Wednesdays, and that was my first exposure to tacos. And It was so hideous and disgusting. The ground meat is the same ground meat they used in fucking sloppy joes. That's how nasty it was. And
Ooh.
yeah, it was just this brown slop that smelled bad. And I got exposed to that, and it kind of sort of imprinted on me. So I've tried throughout the years. I've never taken a liking to tacos. I mean, for whenever they was taco day, at the time it was a thing. I do the goddamn vegetarian thing. I just put lettuce and tomato in a shell and eat that because I couldn't go near that beef. It was so nasty looking and smelling. So
Oh,
I've never
God.
been into tacos. I've never been into Mexican food much anyway. To me, it's just the same three things in different versions or combinations, different chips or wraps or I don't know.
You live East Coast, man. You say the same thing about Italian food. It's all a form of pasta mixed with meat and some sort of sauce. Congratulations, you've mastered Italian cooking. No, being here from California, I know I'm picking a fight.
I'll fight you over that one. I'll fight you.
Mexican food is second nature, man. I've eaten more tacos from like literal like freaking abuelas than I can count. So yeah, I mean, I think it's probably just you haven't had the good tacos, and that's the thing. A lot of people from other states, it's like unless you're Southwest, yeah, the taco is like you said, ground beef, lettuce, cheese, maybe some salsa, and like I said, you haven't really had tacos till you've had some of the ones you can get here, like in California or in Mexico, or I mean in Texas. Minus Tex-Mex, like Mexican tacos, not Tex-Mex. Tex-Mex sucks ass. Or Arizona has some good Mexican food, stuff like that. But yeah, like if you've had a birria taco, if you've ever had a birria taco, it is fucking amazing. Or El Pastor, freaking amazing. Just yeah.
Let's move on. Mean things will be said on all sides if we keep doing this.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So I got a starter thing. This should carry us for a little bit of while. Some of the stuff I've been holding on to since last week, since we didn't do the show last week. So it's a little old, but no one is talking about it. So I figure it's worth it. So I found this list on Twitter, and of course, we question some of its legitimacy, but it's a good starting place, and we can at least go over it and say whether or not we agree or even want to. I don't want most of this. We'll go through it anyway. So 40 film and TV video game adaptations in development.
Oh, okay. All right.
We'll just go down the list. We're going to start in the top left-hand corner and go from left to right. And then okay, we'll go. So Alan Wake. I haven't played the games. You guys played those games?
Not really. I've seen videos of the game. It's like what's this? It's like this guy is like an author who writes like horror novels, and he kind of finds out that there's some weird reality warping shit going on with one of his books and stuff. I don't know. The first one was like a good game, and then the second one wasn't. I don't fucking know.
From what I remember, I didn't play it. I saw a little bit of somebody else's play. Yeah, he's like looking for, I think, his wife or something. Gets caught up in this thing where he finds out there's these creatures that he has to shine a flashlight on. Essentially, they have to be brought into light to like hurt him or something. And it did real well, was successful, but yeah, the second one they totally tanked because they said, "How about you don't play as Alan Wake?"
Diversified. They DEI'd the hell out of that thing. I know the first game was very well received. It was essentially a cult classic game, an instant cult classic. People really got into it, loved it, and enjoyed it, and begged for a sequel. And then last year they got their sequel. I think it was last year.
Yeah.
They got their sequel, and yeah, it was DEI'd to hell. They race swapped a character they race swapped a female FBI agent from the first game. They made her went from white to black. That when I heard that, I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah, and like it doesn't even have any like staying power in terms of relevance, because like that second game came out, like sure it was there, but then it just died out. Like I think they just think they're still dropping some DLC to it, but no one's really talking about it on a grander scale, so it's clearly not hitting the same effect the first game did. And
yeah,
I was gonna say, since the next list is gonna be Control, that is I'm gonna say this. The one thing I do know is that takes place in the Alan Wake universe.
Okay.
Control.
Yeah,
is that
Control.
the one with the chick that looks like Scarlett Johansson on the cover?
Yes, it's
Okay.
that one I know a little bit more about. It's like basically this chick goes to this building that's like that specializes in housing items that have these weird paranormal like abilities to it, like in curse, like SCP shit, and you're supposed to go through this weird reality warping bullshit. And I don't know. I tried to play it, it just didn't do it for me, and I was like, nah, I'm not into it. And
Yeah, Sam. Anna played them. I think she likes both. It kind of hits a sore spot though, because she contacted me and said, "Can you make me a video for an opening for Alan Wake 2 review?" So I put in all this work. It was a great opener. The way I set it up, really good. I even found a YouTube singer who sung "I Always Feel Like Somebody's Watching Me." And I distorted it in such a way that it like was creepy and haunting. Put it through there, checked it. It all checked out. I was all, great opening. You're gonna love it.
When you can fool the song copyright algorithm, that's a victory, dude. That's a massive win.
And I gave it to her, and she never did it. So it's just sitting there like this really good opener. Did all the work for free, and she never used it. I was like, God damn it.
All right, so if we take Alan Wake and Control, we'll put them together as thing. And we're gonna basically ask whether I think after each one of these last questions, do we think they're gonna do well? Do we think people even want them? Right now, considering the majority fallout from Alan Wake 2, and therefore I think you can probably get Control in on that. I don't think these would do well, and I don't think people want them.
I think like Alan Wake, I feel like you could definitely translate into a movie, and you could probably do okay, but I don't think it's not gonna have that. It doesn't have that drive. I don't see like a drive to, I want this to be in a movie format. Just ain't there.
I think here's the thing. I think people I think they'd like the setting that it's in. It's in this, I believe, little kind of port city that's like almost like the one from The Fog. Like it's right on the edge of like a forest or something. And so the setting really could work for visuals. That's one of the things that was really big about the game, was having like a lighthouse and all these kind of things. The fog being a big presence. I think visually it could make a really good show. It just, how could they stretch it out to a TV show or film?
Miniseries
would be easier. Yeah, maybe a miniseries would be
like
decent.
like a 3-part miniseries would probably work.
Because I hate when they try to turn video games into movies, because video games are usually hours and hours of material.
We're gonna rip into a bunch of these on this list because of that, obviously.
Yeah, when they put them into a 2-hour movie, they have to cut so much out that it just loses all the kind of gusto that the game had, and the kind of amazing story has to be just butchered.
Yeah.
So I don't
Let's
know
move
if they can
right on to the next one with that one. Ghost of Tsushima. Outstanding game.
Yeah.
Fantastic game. But you literally played the movie.
Yeah.
Don't play the game. Don't watch the show or movie. Go play the game.
Like if I recall correctly, I think this is going to be a movie.
It's a movie,
and it's
yeah.
So I don't say it's impossible to do it.
No, but
although you're going to have
point.
I think we have to. I think we need to hit that particular thing. Of what's the point? We all know what's the point of it. Money, all right. But so like, this could work as a movie, but the problem is you're gonna have to start trimming some stuff. Like there's a lot of good stuff in it. I think you could still do something good that's faithful to the source material,
well,
and whatnot. But it would be difficult because you got to chop off some stuff because you still have to fit in, like you have to fit in Jin story of his conflict between honoring the samurai code and dealing with the Mongols. His uncle, you got to deal with like Yuna, and
the only way you could do it is basically follow the Yuna storyline, because her brother is involved in, well, not her side stuff, but everything involved with her brother, because her brother is involved with so much of the story progression in terms of his blacksmith inventions. And if you do it, you have to hit three things. You have to hit, like you just said, Bug, you have to hit the dichotomy of samurai versus assassin, which is at play in Jin's mind as he continually goes deeper and deeper into it, and eventually realizes that the only way to win the war is to become the monster, the ghost. So you do that through Unison. You have to somehow work in the Ronin storyline with his guy, his friend who betrays him, of course everything that leads through his uncle. Everything else would have to be jettisoned. Shinji, the monk, that all has to go.
Yeah, there's just it'd be difficult. There's way too many important like sections of that story that you can't really go without of, you know.
And then they have to figure out how to turn Jin into a black lesbian female.
Right.
You know?
There's way too much masculinity in Ghost of Tsushima. That's never going to work on television.
Yeah. Hi, Samuel.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay. Just kind of hanging out. I'm here tonight, so let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. So Ghost of Tsushima could work, but honestly, just play the goddamn game.
Yeah.
Are these movie adapted? Like they're adapting into movies, or are they adapting into series? Okay, because Ghost of Tsushima only works if it's done in a series.
But it's going to be
just
a movie.
Too much.
They are trying to make it a movie right now. That's what they're trying.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Yeah, it's not. It won't really work. It would be a shell of what is a fabulous story and an outstanding game.
There are plenty of games that would make amazing TV shows, not movies, TV shows, but they have to stick to the actual game, because gamers who love these games are fanatical about it. They know all the lore, they know all the stuff. You can't change it up completely and then feed it to them and say, here, just accept this. They're going to point out every single time you changed the story. Every single time you've changed a character, you've changed the character's story, you've changed the lore. Every single time they're going to know, and they're going to notice it. So
Resident Evil, for example.
No.
Well, I put that out there.
Do you hear they want to make another one?
What?
Really?
Yeah,
Look,
Sony said that they want to make another fucking Resident Evil movie.
Yeah. Look, I like those movies for what they are. They're not good movies, but I do enjoy
you on that.
The Mila Jovovich movies are the fun ones. The ones after that, no.
Yeah. However, well, I'm talking. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about is the Mila Jovovich movies. But they so I played that series up through I think about halfway through Code Veronica X. I haven't played much past there. But the first like 3 or 4 movies have a series of things and characters that happen out of sequence in the games. and it's just like if you're a timeline stickler, those movies do not work.
No,
at all.
They don't. Even I know they don't. But like you, Samuel, I accept them for what they are, and I out of all of them, I only truly really enjoy the second one, where Mila Jovovich's character becomes
fights goddamn a nemesis and beats him?
Yeah. She fights Nemesis in the second movie. The liquor shows up in the first movie. And then I think they get finally back around to Tyrant in the third movie, which it should have been in the first one.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But I like you, I will watch them for the stupidity that they are and not really feel anything. Also because I'm not a Resident Evil guy, so I'm not looking for the stickler. And also Mila Jovovich in the first couple was smoking hot. They kept doing strange things to her to make her less hot throughout as they went on. Which was
I'll tell you what, Ali Larder in those movies did strange things to me.
Ooh, they had her with red hair, dude.
Yeah,
red hair. That worked. It worked well. There's a Resident Evil on this list, but that is a good side topic on that. All right, Mega Man. This is the first I'm hearing of this.
Okay, I'm not
Again, too much lore.
I'm not too familiar with Mega Man
Oh,
beyond
bad
just
boy.
the side stuff. I don't know. I feel like if you take the Mario method, just like make an animated movie, just stick with that.
Well-
that okay.
Here's the thing. There's a history of Mega Man TV shows,
Mhm.
animated ones, but there's a history of them. And they range from god awful to god awful. Because there's the one where it actually follows the traditional original Mega Man games, like 1 through 9, where Dr. Wily has all the robots under his control, and it's Mega Man Roll. God, what's the name of the freaking dog? I just
I don't remember the dog's name.
I can't remember. But it follows that. Problem is that one always got me because they had his arm cannon on the wrong hand. And that just bugged the hell out of me. And also it was one of those shows that was for Sunday morning. It wasn't even qualified to be on Saturday morning. And it went for a while. They did have a crossover episode where Mega Man X came in, and that I did like that one because I love Mega Man X. I love that series. But it has a lot of animated stuff. And then there was a version of the kind of digital DOS Mega Man one, that series of games that existed as a cartoon for a while. Mega Man DX, I don't remember what it is. That I didn't bother because I never played those. Problem is though, I mean, if it's we have to assume everything on here, with the exception of a couple of these things that we really know already exist. We have to assume they're live action. Okay, I'm going to assume they're live action. Or a mix, of CGI live action.
Yeah,
live action Mega Man
translate.
will not work. But that's where I was going. Live action Mega Man will not work. And also, like Bug said, if the lore is at this point too all over the place, and if you go all the way back to the original lore, the whole story is essentially Dr. Wily steals and reprograms all the proper good robots that were doing proper good tasks around the world that Dr. Light made. But then Dr. Light still kept his one sort of human hybrid robot secret, and then lets Mega Man out to go fight them. And that's kind of it. That's the story. There is...
It's just a series of like, take down the next guy, take down Bomberman, take down Boomerang Man, that sort of thing for 9 games. And then when they got to X, they actually tried to apply a little bit more story to it, and in doing so, they inadvertently like retroactively rebooted everything that came before. There are actually 2 or 3 different timelines because they did a bunch of soft reboots throughout the series.
And the problem therefore is, and everybody knows Mega Man, like Samuel just hinted at, in order to beat one boss, you must have the abilities of a different boss. Yep. Therefore, are we just going to watch him go beat them in the proper order? I don't know.
I mean, you might as well play the games at that point, right?
I know. And so where do you even start? Because you can't, here's also, because of that, you can't mix and match the robots, the enemy robots, because Cutman will work against Electroman. I'm going all the way back to 1, but then Gutsman won't work on Cutman, or however it was. I don't remember. It's a long ass time ago. So I don't think Mega Man doesn't work. And even if it's a TV show, it doesn't work.
The only thing they could do with it is another cartoon, Saturday morning cartoon type thing. Those have died.
Done that, and and let's be honest, Mega Man's kind of a dead brand. Nintendo hasn't made a Mega Man game in a good decade, and the last one was
they're too busy suing other companies from doing anything.
No, I don't see this one working, but I think the whole list, if you take it as a whole, half them we could just literally X out right now as not needing to happen.
I know, but
I can tell.
We're gonna go one at a time for the sake of the stream.
Well, I can tell you a couple of these when we get to some of these. That when I tell you the backstory of some of them, you're gonna just wonder why the fuck did we even bother picking up the name?
I'm sure. I can guess a couple of them from my own knowledge, but so I think we all agreed Mega Man, even if they go CGI, it's got zero It's got
That-
zero pull in the
I feel like that's
zeitgeist
the
right
only way you could do it properly. Like you would have to go the Mario movie method. Like,
now. But
it would have
that's
to be
Mario. People want Mario. People are not clamoring for Mega Man right now. That's the thing.
yeah, I know, but that's the way you would have to go about it. You would have to go like, here's Mega Man. You have Dr. Wily at the end. He has to stop, throw in a couple of the enemies that he's got to fight. Yada yada, trial and tribulation. There you go.
Honestly, though, if out of the ones we know on the list here that are working in various stages, if Nintendo's going to dip into their library to make shit, God, there are several franchises they should go to before Mega Man. There are. It's just that oh man. Listen. Go ahead, Dylan.
I was gonna say, how about for content's sake, we rate the level of what we think that the desire for these things are, or success. So like Alan Wake, I'd probably give it out of 5. I'd give it a 3. I think there might be some, because there's some certain people who don't know the story, and like I said, just off the visuals, will be like,
but it
that
have
looks
to be
interesting.
season 1. I mean, and then you have to hope they don't butcher it with season 2. So
Exactly. So I'd put it at a 3. I don't know Control, so I can't give it nothing. Ghost of Tsushima, I don't know.
I would say I give it a 3 because it has great name recognition, but you lose 2 points because it's got the weight of the game working against it.
Yeah, and I think it'll be like it's just like Alan Wake. It'll sell on the visuals and stuff to people who don't know about the game. The people who enjoyed the game, who want to watch it, will lose interest the second they find out they've messed with it, the story. So I'd go probably 3-2 on that. Mega Man, I'd say probably a 1, if even.
Yeah, there are a couple zeros on here, I know, but we'll say a 1 because it still has a very, it will appeal to some nerds, but I don't think it's enough to really stir up interest. I agree. Okay, BioShock. I have never played a single BioShock game.
Well, I thought
I watched.
Oh, I'm snaking.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna snake.
Okay. I watched some friends of mine play through that series, and I mean, it was entertaining enough to watch, but like, I don't know, nothing about it drew me in as far as playing. I don't really like first person stuff anyway, so it was whatever for me. It's got kind of a cool lore behind it and a neat story and all that stuff, but the gameplay just wasn't it for me. So I never played it, but I could see this. You know, I know not everybody was a fan of the Fallout series that just came out recently. But I think aesthetically they did as good as could possibly have been done for that series, and I think that that BioShock could work very similarly in that regard. Obviously, you want good storytellers as you do with anything, but in terms of like visually and stuff, I think they could do some really interesting stuff with that first series.
Yeah, they could. I think the problem with BioShock is the first game has like this. It's because it plays off this like lesson when you go through all the trials and beat all the various characters you meet, like the was it Andrew Ryan, and he goes, okay, man chooses and a slave obeys, and it basically it's like, oh, you were just following the orders of someone who is like planning like mental brainwashing in your head, and it was a pretty interesting play on, oh, you're just a mindless person playing the game, that was it having fun with the idea of the video game medium, and while sure you can have fun with a good story and the aesthetic of like the lore and whatnot, I don't think it could catch that same lightning in a bottle it had. Like, I mean, that scene alone was iconic when you just have that Andrew Ryan just screaming, "A man chooses and a slave obeys," before he gets hit in the head with a fucking putter,
I'm not a big fan of the steampunk horror kind of feel of it. I just never enjoyed it. But I do think this is one that could do good, just because I do think it'll look good on the screen, and I think it's been long enough from the first game that people will be interested in seeing the story again and stuff play out. So I don't know. I think I'd give this one a 4.
Yeah, I suppose you're probably right there, and it depends, I think, largely in part on how tired audiences are of like dystopian post-apocalyptic settings, because that's essentially what this is, and we've been getting a ton of that shit for 20 years.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, there's sort of a reason for that.
But it doesn't. We want hope, Bug. We want hope in our mediums.
Well, in the end, I agree with Devil. This is the one so far where we're on the list. This is the one that could be huge because it does have. It went on for what? If you include Infinite, 6 games or 4 or 5 games.
I don't recall.
I think it was only 3.
I thought it was 3.
Was Infinite the 4th one then? Okay.
I thought it was the 3rd one.
Really? I don't know.
Well, there was.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guess it was technically 4 because there was like a weird, like, choose your own adventure game.
That probably doesn't count. We're talking about the main line. So 3 or 4 of them. Someone can correct us in the chat if you want, please. But considering it did have a rabid following, and to this day people still do rave about it. But then again, that could work against it if they don't get that first season right. And I'm going to assume this would be a show, not a movie. I think it could take off and land, especially because it is far out. It is far out enough that nobody is fresh with its story in the current zeitgeist. So I agree with Devil. If they nail it, it could be a 4 because people would watch it and tune into it. I think it would.
I just realized something. BioShock Infinite, that game did more for the cultured SFM animation industry.
I know there was a lot that people had it for the chick in that one. I know, people had it.
Yeah, well, no. Here's the thing. That game, that model, that actually got people. That advanced the technology where you see those cultured videos of those animated models. That was the Kickstarter for it.
Really?
Was her.
Wow.
And like, because people were using that model, people were using the sound effects for the game, and then it pushed, and then Overwatch gave it another giant push.
Hey,
so it advanced.
Lots of pushing. Lots
of
pushing.
Bug kept pushing and pushing.
I mean, I had to, man.
Okay, Death Stranding. I know this is a horror game?
You can't fucking do a Death Stranding movie. Everyone's gonna.
I don't know
this. It's a pointless walking simulator,
really?
and we already have one of those. It's called Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's. I just think it's too cerebral, I think is the word I'm looking for. But it's not just
going way too fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah, it's not gonna be enjoyable. Like there'll be like people who what's the word I'm looking for? Like the people who need way too deep and into stuff. They don't want just mindless fun. Those people will be like, oh, it's so deep and like
It's not so deep. It's just fucking confusing, man. Like,
you guys have already made a case. This ain't gonna work.
It didn't work as a game.
Yeah, very like I never heard anyone say good shit about it. Like when it came out, literally everyone was all like, eh.
It's like, oh look, it's got Norman Reedus' face. That was the only praise I have ever heard this game get. Ever.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what this game is? Okay.
It's
my nephew plays this game and he doesn't have anything nice to say about it.
Yeah, no, it's just not not a thing I would recommend.
They just want to put Norman Reedus on the screen, dude. That's all they want to do. That's all they want to do. All right. Okay. Tomb Raider live action Amazon. I got 3 words for you. I got 3 words for you. Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Done.
I got 3 words.
I don't even care if she's involved or not. I don't care if she's involved or not. Tomb Raider, like Lara Croft needs to die in Tomb Raider. Like that, it needs to end. And you know what, Melanie Mac, if you're listening out there, yes, it needs to end.
I'm sorry, I don't want to see any shows with that ugly boy. No more movies, no more shows. Fuck all that shit. She's ugly.
Well, she's not starring in it. She's writing it. She's showrunning. She's showrunning.
Oh no, she'll find a way to put herself in it because she does every single project she does.
You're not wrong.
She'll be Lara's mother, who is her sole inspiration, and not her father, who is the actual archaeologist. But whatever.
Right. This is a 0. This is Dio freaking A on arrival. Now, if it comes out, I sure as hell am going to watch and review the hell out of it. That's easy money right there. But oh god, it's going to be terrible. It's gonna be god awful. And nobody wants it like this.
Yeah,
nobody wants it at all.
No one wants it like this. Like, and it's like, look, it's not impossible to do a Tomb Raider project. Like, obviously, like, yeah, the Angelina Jolie movies were like kind of, but they were fun to a degree.
Yeah,
and then
they're silly fun. They're silly fun.
I like cat suits. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, they're like there's you could do something. You know, it's just simple. Like, okay, pick a fucking ancient relic that Laura Croft's got to go fucking take and put on her damn trophy wall. Have some bad guys. Have some weird supernatural thing. Done. You have a movie. You know, because that's what it is. It's essentially just a different variation of Indiana Jones in a sense. You know, nothing wrong with it. You could still do it. You can milk that shit for all you're worth. But from this rotten titty that is Amazon, I don't want none of that milk.
Nope. It's the milk milk's gone bad.
It's enough to make newcomers drunk. That's a bit of a deep cut reference for y'all. Alienation. Anybody?
Yeah, I know milk. Milk makes them. I know they like the spoil. It's spoiled milk. They like the spoiled milk. See, I remember. It's DOA. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna happen. And when it's coming out, though, it's happening, and I'm there for it. I am there for it to rip on it and roast it. You guys will watch me just tear the ever living shit out of it. So I'm giving that a 0. Nobody asked for it. It's going to do terrible. All right, Last of Us season 2. 4. 4.
I mean, that's really the only reason to watch it is to watch what's his face get his head caved in with a putter, right?
Yeah.
That's all it is. There's just morbid curiosity of like, how are you going to handle the second game story? Like,
I've heard.
Because I mean, here's the thing.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Because like you, because the second you kill off Pedro Pascal, no one's watching that goddamn show. Because I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean to the chick they got to play Ellie. You know, whatever. She's probably just doing her job or whatever. But like, no one came in to see you for this fucking show. They came in because Pedro Pascal was slapped on there. You know, and you get rid of him. Well, there ain't no fucking point. But then again, I never really have a high opinion of the show because I was seeing a lot of stuff about it, like how Joel was just drastically weaker than his game counterpart. And I was like, yep, I know what it is. It's just building blocks because they got to set it up to make it look like, okay, this is why Joel got his ass fucking stomped in the second season because he's already a weak fucking decrepit old man in the first one. So it's like, I don't want to watch that. Plus, Last of Us has been like, it's talking about Amazon and the rotten titty. Fucking Last of Us got milked dry. That shit's powder coming out now.
I was never a fan. I didn't play the games. I was never into it. So
I played the first game.
I know people hold that in high regard.
It was good. Yeah,
it was good for what it was.
But we already know
that interesting crafting system. I'll give it that.
But season 1 met with a lot of mixed discussion. We'll just say, I mean, people who are some of the higher end reviewers in our sphere really actually liked it, and then a lot of people are going, "What the hell are you saying?"
That shit.
I know. I'm trying to call it Mahler. Mahler and Drinker both liked it. Oh, there I said it. Mahler and Drinker both liked it, but a lot of people said, "What's wrong with you? How can you like this garbage?" And I listened to a lot of people fight with them. Not when I say fight, good natured, hearty debating. And then everybody shook hands and they were fine afterwards. But I don't understand how they're possibly going to do this, like you said, with season 2, because Internet Daddy Pedro Pascal, you're absolutely right, Bug. Internet Daddy Pedro Pascal is the only reason they're looking at this thing. And I've heard the rumors they've split it into 2 seasons now, 2 more seasons with this second game storyline. They're splitting it.
That makes sense there because that fucking second game was super crammed in with so much shit that I understand why they would have to do it. You know, and of course they don't have a third game to like milk off.
They never will. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, so like of course they're going to have to like milk out 2 seasons worth at least for the second game story.
I tell you
And
what, I would love it if they got Elliot Page to come in and play the role that was that stole her
Abby?
face.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. No, I was gonna say Abby.
You know,
They
as
already
the
cast Abby.
as the more adult version, because the chick who's playing the girl now or in the first season, there's no way she's taking an Abby sized woman. There's no way.
Well, they did cast. Hang on. Let me get
yeah,
let me push that because
did
they
cast-
have cast Abby. They have.
Yeah, they did.
I'll show her. Let me get the picture. Hang on. Keep going.
She's a tiny little thing though.
Hang on. Last of Us, season 2, Abby. Yeah, this is who Abby is. It's this chick. I recognize her from other
She was
stuff.
on she was on a show with Tim Allen. Like, it was like some family.
Was it
sitcom
Last
thing.
Man Standing?
Last Man's
Yeah, that's what it was.
Now this is
None of those girls are bulky though.
I mean,
Oh
this is,
God, yeah.
Yeah, there's no. She's thinner than my dick, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah, how's she supposed to play Abby? I'd actually have sex with that girl.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Listen. We'll be happy to raw dog.
I'm actually looking forward to that scene now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raw dog with that easy.
Sit
We'll
there,
go and try. I mean, but not. I mean, one. That's a girl. That's a dude. That's a dude right there. So
they could have endeared all and brought all the fans back if they would have made Scott Steiner Abby. I'm telling you.
Here's the one thing I know that everybody wants. I do know they want this for last season 2. They want to see Fat Geralt. They want to see Fat Geralt run in and smash the hell out that little tranny kid. They want to see that.
God, that shit was just. That shit was so funny.
I didn't even play the game, and every time I saw that, I just lost it. It was so goddamn funny watching Fat Geralt just go, and just slam that kid. But here's the thing, though. So with the season 2 going forward, they have so many problems. They skated by on season 1 for some people because they roughly stuck to the story. Gay episode aside, which everybody called out and they admitted was purely for gay propaganda. There is so much wrong, from what I understand, in season 2 that is despised by real people, not the fake fans who thought it was the greatest thing in the world. I don't think season 2 is going to have the level of connection, especially when they kill off Internet Daddy Pedro. I think it's going to just collapse in on itself. It's going to get so much negative attention. I think that's
good.
That's
I hope it burns, and I'm not putting out that fire. I ain't pissing on that thing.
That's the only thing I'm looking forward to is seeing Pedro Pascal get brained.
That's going to become a meme. You realize that's going to be memed to hell on the internet.
Yeah, like when he got killed by the mountain.
Even I know that. So I think Last of Us season 2 ends up at a 2 when all is said and done in terms of desire and favorability. Okay, Mortal Kombat 2, the sequel to the movie that came out during COVID.
I'm kind of looking forward to this.
I fucking hate that movie.
I love Carl Urban as much as everybody else, but I just don't see him as Johnny Cage, man.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's a little old. It's just because he's old. Younger Carl Urban, I could dig it, but this is middle-aged Carl Urban now. So
yeah, but they're going for like more. I think they're probably going to go for more current Mortal Kombat, in which Johnny Cage actually is older. He's got a grown daughter. He's got gray in his hair.
That was from the preview. They
down.
reset all that shit. They reset all that shit with Mortal Kombat 1. That's just been reset.
But this was in the works before that happened.
Okay, you're right. That means you have to be married. That means you have to be married to Sonya. They would or divorced or whatever.
I'm not buying it really for me because look, the other one was just fucking stupid because it was like, oh, let's make everybody have superpowers when it didn't make sense for certain characters like Jax and Kano and Sonya. It's like
that was weird.
It's like what?
Yeah.
It's like you have to unlock your Arcana. It's like what the fuck? He's a cyborg.
Yeah.
He has metal arms.
Yeah,
So
that
he
was
has
just I'm trying to.
She just need to unlock superpowers.
there's just them trying to justify some shit that doesn't really work in the real world. It's the same. They did the same thing. NetherRealm did the same thing with the Injustice game, with like Injustice 1, where Green Lantern was like, or Green Arrow was fucking going toe to toe with Superman, which is a fucking impossibility, right? So they're like, oh, we'll just have everybody pop a magic pill, that way they're all on the same level.
Here's the thing with that, Samuel. That's just to explain some bullshit lore in a game, of a fighting game, of why certain characters can fight other characters. And that's one thing. You could be like, okay, fine, it's stupid, roll along, because hey, I just want to execute a cool combo and beat the shit out of Superman with the Batmobile.
Sure.
Or some shit. But in this movie, it's like it was one of the dumbest things I ever seen. And then of course, like I'm also kind of wondering because Melina,
it's the tournament. This one's the tournament now. So
they got Melina, and they casted I think she's a black actress to play Melina.
Well, I think she's mixed, but yeah.
I mean, let me see if I get a cast.
But here's the thing I'm wondering.
She's pretty too.
I'm wondering, since she's supposed to be a mixture of Edenian and Tarkatan, I gotta know, did you make all the Tarkatans black? Because that would be funny.
Hold on. Is she black?
They probably can. They come from a desert world, but
is she black or is she Indian? Because we've been told they're one and the same at this point.
She's not Kamala, dude.
All right, so
I mean, is she Haitian? That might explain some things too.
Look, Melina's hot, but yeah, there's no way that she's going down on a bunch of senators to gain power. It's just not going to happen. Have you seen her tweet?
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I just don't.
No, I'm looking forward to it just because, like I had fun with the last one. I know it's stupid, Bug. I understand all of your points, and I think you're 100% right on that stuff. I can sit through it and put it out of my head though, just to watch a bunch of stupidly violent shit happen because I want to see people die.
Here, I mean,
are they still keeping that fucking OC character from the last movie?
Yeah, that's one of my problems. This dude shouldn't be there. And it's just now this
Captain Plot Armor himself.
Scorpion was fine. I didn't like the guy playing Liu Kang. I didn't like him. I thought he was too wafy because Liu Kang's supposed to be our hero in the first phase. The dude playing Raiden, I couldn't understand a word he goddamn said. I didn't understand a word he said. The dude who had this dude playing Sub-Zero, this dude's a fucking badass. Have you seen the show? Oh shit! It was that show based on Bruce Lee's writings that was on Stars.
The Warrior?
Warrior, yeah. This dude was in Warrior. This dude's a fucking badass. He is good at fight scenes, choreography. He's great.
I'm curious. So this Sub-Zero, this guy's going to be playing Kuai Liang then, right?
Well, he actually died at the end of the last one. So I mean, I don't know if he's going to come back.
Okay,
he'd probably be playing Noob.
Yeah, because like Bihan obviously becomes Noob, but he was the first Sub-Zero. But there is a Sub-Zero that comes in to replace him. His brother,
his younger brother, yeah.
Which makes no sense because in the movie, Bihan has been around for like fucking 600 years.
Yeah. It's So
not like that matters to them.
This guy, Sonya could still keep going. I think she was okay. Again, we have like you. My own problem with Jax is it's not tech; it's weird, supernatural shit.
Yeah, he got these like weird little robot arms, and he's all pissed about it. Then all of a sudden, his magic kicks in, and they become all buff and shit. It's weird as hell.
Kano died. Kano died in the first movie.
Kano did die.
Yeah. We're getting. I mean, Kung Lao didn't Kung Lao die too?
I believe so.
Not only did he die, but fucking the OC stopped Liu Kang from saving Kung Lao.
Yeah, and that pissed you off because Kung Lao is supposed to be the next hero. He's the one who's supposed to beat Shao Kahn. Yeah. So I mean that doesn't make sense. Shang Tsung was fine.
I mean, don't you want to see his soul get sucked?
Kinda, yeah.
Hey, that's how Samuel gets off at night. Okay, come on.
Yeah.
Now again, we all love Carl Urban. I just think he's too old to be Johnny Cage. Even if we're going old Johnny Cage, But Carl Urban will get by because he's Carl Urban, and we all love him. In the end, we'll probably forgive him for that. I don't know this dude playing Shao Kahn, and he's going to be in a heavy makeup anyway. So
I think I've seen him in some stuff years ago. He's okay. He usually plays like minions and shit in crime movies.
I think it's too early to introduce Quan Chi. I think it's too early.
Yeah, yes and no. Because if they're gonna do more stuff with Scorpion and they're gonna turn Bihan into Noob Saibot, then Quan Chi needs to be present for that.
Okay, if they do it,
Yeah.
you're right. If they do it, okay. If they start making revenants, is the thing too. I don't know who Gerard is. I don't.
Jared is the father of Katana and the husband of Sindel.
He's like the
original-
deposed king of Vidinia.
Okay,
Hmm.
okay. I didn't know his name.
Yeah, he also then later becomes Ermac because he's one of the souls
Really?
trapped in the body.
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Well,
all
Ermac's an amalgamation of souls, so yeah, he's one.
Yeah,
of them.
but he's
Yeah.
one of the 1,000 in there.
They need to milf the hell out of Sindel. They really need to make sure they do that. And they also need to get her hair. They need to get her hair attacks right and not make it look stupid.
It kind of looks stupid in game. I'm not gonna lie. I always thought the hair
No.
attacks were fucking retarded.
Anytime they do hair attacks in shows or movies, they look fucking retarded. Like, do you guys remember how bad they looked in the
Inhumans?
Yeah, Inhumans show? Like,
and
it
the
was
Swan
horrible.
is so fucking hot, and they managed to make her
Oh,
look
with
like
Medusa? Yeah.
Yeah, it was shit.
Yeah. God damn it, Inhumans. That was such a fucking waste.
Yeah,
You
completely.
literally had the fucking equivalent of Marvel's Game of Thrones, and you fucked that up. And they
Big
had
time.
perfect casting for some of those characters, and it's just ugh.
We've already talked
moving
about
on.
Melina. She's back, and I guess she is kind of a mix there, which is
I
fine.
think she did
She's
fine in the first movie. So
and she's a clone, so I mean, you do whatever you want. Katana, she looks cute. We have to see if she can do the action. Now, Katana was always my girl. She is my my game of choice from Mortal Kombat 2 on when I did play back in the day. And Jade, sure.
So you're a fanboy?
Ha ha. Ha ha. Ha ha. Good, great one. And I guess Jade. That's it. Is this it? I mean, if we're
It's
going to the
kind of a lot of
tournament-
cast.
I know, but I mean, some of them
Are gone.
But some of them are gone. Some of them shouldn't even be here. If we're going into if it's the first tournament, then I can see some of these slight adjustments made based upon this timeline that they're working with, they created. But I got swelled spit. If they're going to Outworld, then I would expect to see Baraka. I would expect to see Kentaro. I mean, I would expect to see some stuff. I mean, they wasted Goro in the first movie. They wasted him.
Yeah.
He showed up,
I'll give
got
you
his
that.
ass kicked. I mean, it was retarded. So, I mean, I listen, I think I reviewed the first movie somewhere on the channel back then. Excuse me. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. And this dude right here ruined most of it for me. He just shouldn't have existed. It should have been a
Cold shouldn't
Scorpion.
have happened.
It should have been a Scorpion-centric movie is what it should have been. Really a Scorpion-centric movie. And I think that would have been badass.
You mean like Scorpion's Revenge?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it should have been Scorpion, not that dude. And I think this is going to settle probably around a 3.
That's what
It's
I'd
gonna
say.
it's gonna
Probably.
be received well by some, and it's gonna be rejected by others, and then probably people like me are just gonna go, eh. I mean, I'll watch it. I'll watch it. I'll
Yeah.
we'll probably review it on stream or something. But I don't know. And
Yeah, they have to bring Kano back though. I know he's dead, but they have to bring him back because he's like one of the biggest reasons that movie did as well as it did.
Yeah.
Probably what they'll do is have Shang Tsung somehow bring him back because their spirits he'll
Well,
Quan Chi.
absorb it.
Yeah.
if you're doing Quan Chi, then they're gonna go the Revenant
Yeah.
storyline then and start bringing them
Probably.
back as Revenants. All right. Next, Sonic 3. This movie is going to do well.
Yeah.
People
I-
are psyched.
Trailer looked okay.
People are
Yeah,
psyched.
I was actually surprised with it because of the one simple thing was they seemed to treat Shadow like a fucking threat and like he wasn't just making cringy jokes or something. It was just like
Mhm.
the most you got was, "Oh, you're a colorful bunch," and it was like, it was just shocked to me because it's like, "Oh wow, a movie where we treat a threat as a threat and not a fucking joke, and it's from a Sonic movie." Wow.
Now, my thing is this: I was long out of playing Sonic games before Shadow was introduced, so I have no frame of reference. I also haven't even seen the first two movies because I'm honestly not into Sonic anymore. So this is not made for me. I am not into this, but I can recognize that this is going to probably be a success. I think it's going to work. I think it's going to work again, and it's going to close
the
out
first
the
two
whole
movies
thing.
did really well too.
Yeah, because you harken back to the whole thing. These are working because they listened to the fans. They said, "Don't give us the horrible Sonic. Make it look like the Sonic we know." And here we are, a third movie that's probably going to make a few $100 million in profit.
Well, and they historically they haven't been putting much in the way of agenda in these movies at all. They're just like, hey, let's make a movie about these cool video game characters.
Still too many humans, from what I hear, though. Still too many humans.
Sure.
Well,
and whether they're good or bad, they're not agenda filled.
Yeah, I would say the first one there's a couple of them, but like the second one it really, because I watched the second one recently, and the human characters definitely take way less space than the first one, so it's more focused on the actual characters you're interested in, like Sonic and Tails and Knuckles and Eggman, and if they're gonna go for that route here, because now we gotta factor in Sonic, not Sonic, Shadow's backstory here, that'll be good. Plus Keanu Reeves, I'm kind of
that's the thing. They got Keanu to voice Shadow, and this is going to wrap it up. If they go forward, I think they'll transition to TV series if they go any farther with it.
Well, they're already trying with the Knuckles, so I mean, it's
that's what
Knuckles
I mean.
Yeah, Knuckles was like a nice little in betweener thing, so they might try to do more of that, maybe.
And this seems to be the only thing that gets Jim Carrey to come out of retirement every time. He retires. I'll come back to play Robotnik, and I'm going to retire again.
Honestly, it's probably because this is fun.
Thing. It's kind of like the same thing Brad Dourif did with Chucky, where he said, "Yeah, I'm not acting in anything, but if the guys want me to voice Chucky, I'll do it, no matter what."
So we all agree it's going to do well. Okay, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. The first one did surprisingly well. It came out of nowhere for a lot of people, and a lot of people had a lot of good things to say about it.
Yeah, it was pretty okay. Like it handled the lore of the fucking convoluted lore pretty well enough. So I kind of so it's okay. Plus, there was a lot of people that grew up with this fucking franchise and the lore, and they want to see more of the shit expanded upon, and so there's a bit of a demand I could see for it. And I think a second one, depending on what they do with it, they could have fun with it. It could be a nice little new, fun little horror franchise thing to fill out every now and then.
As long as
I'm sure there's an audience for it. It's just not me.
I mean, dude, even Jed liked it, and he had no experience with the franchise, and he liked it. So
I mean, the only things I know about it, my kid told me because my kid plays those games, and despite the fact that she was playing some of those games before she was, according to her parents, i.e., me, old enough, but whatever. But that aside, she really laid it out for me, and I just essentially just came back at her. I was like, "So this is like homicidal Chuck E. Cheese." She was like, "Well, what's Chuck E. Cheese?" And I was like, "Christ, you're so young."
Thanks, kid. Thanks.
She's never seen one. She didn't grow up in a state that has one. But anyway, but yeah, so I'm just like,
occasionally.
I don't know. They did this. They did a Nicolas Cage movie that's essentially a ripoff of of this, which is a ripoff of Chuck E. Cheese. That did surprisingly well too. Honestly, given it was a low budget, like A24 piece of crap, but I don't know. This isn't for me. I know there's an audience for it because I know there's a fan base for it. I run into them on Twitter on occasion. There's surprisingly large group of people who are really into this stuff, so I'm sure it'll do well.
If they stick to the formula of the first one, it'll do fine, and it'll keep its fan base. Might even grow it a little bit, and good word of mouth will spread. It could happen. I don't see any negatives to Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I see if they stick to the formula, they don't betray the lore and keep it tight. I think it'll be fine. And like you said, they'll make a nice little franchise out of it. They'll keep making them, and people keep going back and enjoying them. And that's a nice little mid-grade franchise. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, they
Okay.
don't all have to be fucking $1 billion movies, man.
No.
Well,
That's
that's the thing. That's the thing with Blumhouse. They grab a bunch of shit. They throw as little money as possible, and then they make so much fucking bank.
Roger Corman did the same thing. So did Troma.
Yep. And that's what Hollywood has forgotten. The mid-tier movie. Just crank them out for a little money. They either suddenly land big or end up as cult classics or forgotten. And there it is.
I mean, or you could take the Yui Bowl route and go make them overseas at a loss because it's easier to write off according to German
also
tax
money
code.
laundering.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I'm getting at.
Goddamn Uwe Boll. Goddamn him.
Yeah, don't keep talking about him. He'll fight you in the ring.
Okay. This next one, God of War. I got two words for you. I got
a big
I got
note for me, dog.
I got 2 words for you. Rafe Judkins, the guy who's in charge of Wheel of Time on Amazon.
Yeah, I heard that they were gonna focus on the Norse stuff.
They're going right to the Norse. You're absolutely right.
Like,
They're going right to the Norse.
And it's fucking ridiculous. Like, I know there's
After Kratos' balls dropped off, by the way.
Yeah, and there's that was the thing I was
Discussion for another time. Discussion for another time.
Like, I know that there's like a big schism between the God of War fans where the Norse one is shit and the Greeks is blah 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 blah. But the thing is, as someone who's played most of the stuff, I think you can't just dismiss the Greek stuff because you kind of need it to help.
You kind of need it.
It's his entire backstory. It's his life.
In God of War 2018, at the beginning of the third act, when he has to go back into the cottage and pull up the floorboards and break out the blades of chaos in that moment, that only has meaning if you've told the Greek side of the story.
Yeah,
that has no meaning.
That's the thing. You can't just I imagine what they'll probably do is try to do flashbacks, but that's not the same. You need to have Kratos go through the Greek arc, and then later down the line you could do the Norse stuff, okay? Because the Greek stuff is needed to amplify the shit you go through in the Norse stuff, He
only gets to the Norse world after destroying the Greek one.
Yeah.
Yeah, after he literally dives off of Mount Olympus. Here's the thing. It'd be one thing if the Greek stuff was literally him going through 12 years of regular bitch war or something, and so okay, we can just eliminate that, or overlook it. He literally toppled gods. He took down an entire civilization of gods. And there's way too much for them just to put to the back burner and say, let's not talk about that. Like I said, it's literally his entire story arc. For the most part, the new stuff, for the most part, it's his son's story. It's about what happened next, but that you're missing the fact that Zeus was his father. You're missing the fact that his original family, by accident murdering them, and that's how he became pale, because he got the ashes put on him. Yeah. The blades, all the stuff that built him and made him what he is, we're ignoring. So we're going with the idea that this ultra powerful warrior just came out of nowhere is what they're gonna do. Like you said, they're gonna try sell it in flashbacks. That's so lame.
Yeah, you just can't do that.
Well, he did so much shit. There was so much stuff involved in there. You're right. It wasn't just yes, he toppled Olympus and he brought an end to the Greek pantheon and the Greek world, but there's so much personal shit in there. He ends up losing a second daughter later on. There's a point where he finds out that his brother was taken from him and not killed when he was a boy, which is the only reason he signed up, to go on this path in the first place, with trying to honor his dead brother, who turns out wasn't dead and was just trapped in Hades, blaming him for everything, that he eventually had to fight and kill his own brother over this shit. Him discovering that Zeus is in fact his father, right? And then later on in the Norse stuff, where he's in hell and Zeus's apparition starts haunting him, and the boy is like, "Oh, what's this about?" And he's like, nothing.
We're not talking about this. We're not
he's
talking
like,
about this.
he's like, "Look, gods tend to kill their fathers, and it's a whole thing." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And he doesn't know that his dad is talking about himself.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Like, there's a ton of fucking personal shit that they're going to have to skip over.
And it's not so much even skipped over. Rafe Judkins is not qualified to do anything right. This is a man who is jealous of his betters, people who have actual creative ideas and told stories. He likes to take them, cut them into pieces, and Frankenstein monster them out and say, "Look what I did. I made it better." That's who Rafe Judkins is. All right. And also, I think Samuel can appreciate what I'm going to say here now. I haven't heard anybody talking to Chris Judge about coming on board. So,
Yeah.
So, anyway, so yeah, this thing is DOA, and when it comes out, I'm gonna rip it apart.
I don't know if that would. I don't know if that would go over so well with everybody, man. Like Chris Judge did an excellent job voicing the character, but they'd have to coat him in whiteface.
I'm fine with him, man. He's Chris Judge.
Let's be honest.
Cover him up. It'd be awesome. He's Chris Judge.
They're probably gonna make him black. They're gonna say that's the backstory, is that he's a black warrior from some other country that come to Norse land, and that's how they're gonna do it. I have no doubt of that, because they've tried to actually retcon the story in some ways to say that Kratos is black, even though he's not. He's freaking Greek. He's olive colored skin, if anything, under the white ash. But they're making this whole thing. Well, look at his facial features. He's always been black. No, he's always been. Yeah, he's always just got that fucking rough facial features. Doesn't make him black.
Both voice actors who voiced him were black, but that was in a time when it didn't matter what color a voice actor was.
Yeah, and at the same time, you hear Chris Judge just go, yeah. But it's boy. And he said indeed. He only said it a couple of times, but when he said it, I just went yes. But Rafe Judkins has no problem race swapping, none whatsoever. The dude is a full-on activist. He's a massive agenda-driven piece of shit. And as soon as he was attached to this show, it was done. It was done the moment he was attached to it. So it's gonna be terrible. I'm gonna rip it apart. This is when as soon as I get the calendar date, boom, gonna draw lots of little fireworks around it on the calendar, hearts that I love you. Thank you, Rafe Judkins and Amazon, for making me money on this. It's gonna be great, and I'm gonna enjoy it. So it's terrible.
Yep,
okay,
Adam's gonna have to buy extra lube from Amazon that month.
No, man, we going dry on that one. Anyway, okay, Legend of Zelda. Here's the problem with the current announcement and knowledge of Legend of Zelda project. They've announced it's live action. They announced it last year that it's going to be live action. It is. They are not going to go CG, and they're doing. And now if Dermy was here, we had a big fight last year over this. He could be here. We'd fight about it now. Trust it. The guy who made it is in on it. And I kept saying, dude, it's not an Oda situation. It's not like Oda really made sure to stay on the racks. There have been plenty of missteps with Zelda over the years, and dude has been involved every time. So that is not a guarantee, because the creator's involved, that it's going to work. It should be a CGI thing like the Mario Brothers. They should go back to they should choose a timeline, start at a certain point and run that timeline. Don't start anything new. And it feels like it's live action. They're starting anew. And also, how are you going to get away with Link as a silent protagonist in a live action movie, let alone even if it was CGI? I don't know.
Well, you saw the Tom Holland memes last year, right?
Yep. Everybody wanted Tom Holland. You're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I mean, he does look a bit like a twink.
Yeah, well, he is the beta in that relationship.
I don't want to see more Tom Holland memes. I got overdone with the fucking Zendaya tennis ball movie came out, and all the fucking Tom Holland Spider-Man memes popped up. There's just, oh no.
Well, now the current Tom Holland memes I saw a couple today are putting him up against
the bathroom stall.
No, not the bathroom.
No,
God,
God damn it,
Derby put that shit on screen.
No, I'm talking about putting him up in front, his Spider-Man up in front of Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom, and saying, he has to be the main protagonist to fight Doom because of the MCU relationship. I'm not even getting into that shit. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, don't get into that. I'm gonna like lose my shit.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's 50-50 with Zelda. I think it would have been 100 if they went CG animation like Mario Brothers. I would have been a 100 out of the park. Everybody's gonna probably love it. This live action, I'm not feeling it. Especially if they find some femboy to play Zelda, or some femboy to play Link.
I would say it's a 4
Legend of
just
Zelda
because
Twink's Adventure.
I would say it's a 4 just because Zelda, it has massive name recognition. You're talking about 40 plus years of freaking, games, and it's, I think that'll bring people in, and the fantasy aspect. People love fantasy, so I think it'll bring people in. I think the diehard game people might not show up just because we know they're gonna mess with it.
Oh, they're gonna show up and they're gonna bitch and moan. I'll probably bitch and moan. I mean, I was there with the original gold cartridge. I was there.
I just everyone knows me. I don't do new reviews because I don't want to watch this shit. There's plenty of other people watching it, so I probably won't, to be honest, because I don't want to see characters I love be destroyed. The one thing I am sure of is I don't think they'll try to race swap at least the main characters in this one. But like you said, if they effeminize Link to the point where it's just sad, like him giggling and prancing and shit, it's gonna be so lame.
The smartest fucking play is to do Ocarina of Time. It's the smartest play, and then follow the dark timeline so that you can go to Link to the Past and go the original timeline, not the branching stuff we've gotten so far. To me, that's the smart play, because then you're honoring the original stuff. That means you win over the old school fans who become your biggest cheerleaders, and then the positivity, just word of mouth, will grow. I just don't think it works as live action, though. It should be a CGI animation like Mario. Like, give it to Illumination again, let them work their magic, and create something cool. But I just don't think it's gonna. It's 50-50. I mean, if they nail enough of it, I could see the 4. But I can't make a solid call on that yet. I just can't. If live action, that's the sticking point for me. Live action, that's the sticking point.
Dermy's big thing is he just wants to make sure Link doesn't have any pants on. That's just
right.
Right.
I can imagine there's a bunch of big burly 40-year-old dudes who've been playing this series since the fucking 80s. On the NES, who just can't wait to see a little twink in a green dress run around. I'm just saying.
Why does he have britches on?
I'm not a fan of the series, by the way.
Here's the thing. When they brought out Link for the cartoon that was paired up with the Mario Brothers cartoon in the late 80s, that Link was a full-on grown dude. He wasn't tiny twink Link. He was full-on grown Link. He had an attitude. Shut up, princess, that kind of shit, to Zelda, who was being a bitch. So there are templates for Link to speak and be a man and not be silent and a pushover and this and that. But I don't know if they have the ability, and I don't know because Nintendo's tendency to ignore things is a double-edged sword. They won't listen to the world yelling at them, but at the same time, they won't listen to people giving them good advice. And you don't know what you're going to get when that kind of shit goes down. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't want it to fail, but a small part of me also wants it to not work out so that I can go point at Dermy and say I was right. And that's always a good reason to want to do something. Okay. Fallout Season 2.
I want nothing to do with it.
I said my piece when it was out. I gave it, I believe, a 7 out of 10. I'm not a hardcore Fallout guy, so I couldn't pick it apart when it happened. But from what I understand, they have a tall order going into Season 2. I think the honeymoon will be over by the time we get to Season 2. And it's just, I think it surprised a lot of people with its somewhat decent representation and everything, but I don't think it will carry on with as much steam as it did the first season and garner as much praise this time, because they're going towards Fallout 76 territory, which a lot of people hold in reverence, I think is fair to say. Not 76, sorry, Fallout New Vegas. Sorry, my Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah. I was going to say nobody holds
No,
Fallout
I
76
don't know.
reference.
I meant Fallout New Vegas. Sorry, Fallout New Vegas. A lot of people hold Fallout New Vegas with a lot of reverence, and they're heading towards New Vegas, which I think is going to be a problem.
They already fucked
It's
that up
absolutely
with
going to
the-
be
with
a
the
problem.
lore.
Mr. House is already dead by this time. This takes place after a good 20 some odd years after the events of Fallout New Vegas. So Vegas is already a wreck, right? All of the events that happen in New Vegas already happen here. And the other problem that you're going to get here is aside from fucking around with the order of things, which I think they're going to do anyway, because so Fallout New Vegas was not made by the same people.
It was Obsidian, right?
And there's and Bethesda's kind of got a grudge against them for making the best-selling Fallout game of all fucking time. And they've always kind of ignored stuff from New Vegas in later lore because they didn't come up with it, and people love it. And they're a little salty about that shit, and I think they're going to do what they can to fuck it up here on purpose.
I agree with you. So I don't think it's going to have the same success season 1 had.
No, probably not. I will say that I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what else Walton Goggins does with that performance. I think he was probably the best highlight of that show. He was really good.
Yeah.
But aesthetically, it's probably going to be, unless their budget dropped considerably, on par with what the first one had, which I thought they did a really good job visually representing the world. But that said, you're gonna get a lot of the same crap. You're gonna get.
The problem is you need to get rid of what's his name, the black dude. I don't even freaking remember. They need to get rid of that guy.
Maximus.
That dude,
Yeah.
Maximus is a
character.
waste of fucking space. You need to get rid of his tranny little co-pilot who is now going to support him. Got to get rid of that he, she, it.
There are obvious problems there because the Brotherhood are zealots. They're not going to allow somebody like that into their ranks in the first place.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
I mean, if here season 2 works from a character and performance perspective is from if they focus on what's her name, who is the lead. I don't remember her name. She was fine.
Lucy.
Give her. I mean, Lucy. Thank you, Lucy. Keep Lucy as she is. She has a nice mix of realism and positivity, and the chick is hot, so that helps. Let Goggins choose scenery. Just let him choose scenery as the ghoul. You'll be fine. And you know what? Give Kyle MacLachlan more to do.
I think he's going to be probably the goal once again. How her whole arc was looking for him, right, in the first season. In this second season, I think it's going to be the same thing, except instead of rescuing him, it's going to be killing him. That's the goal.
They need to not go back to the vaults, those vault storylines. No, dude, you can't. You got to get away from that shit. That was also part of the worst part of the show. If you just have the adventure of Lucy the Ghoul and Dogmeat heading towards, unfortunately for the people who want to like it, New Vegas to take out Kyle MacLachlan's her dad, stay laser focused on that. You might be able to pull something out because the performances will probably carry, and those characters are actually good. But like you said, Bethesda are bitches. They're probably going to F with the lore some more just out of spite, and I think there'll be a big backlash when they do.
Yeah,
bigger than last time.
Yeah.
Also, I know what? Release it weekly. Don't dump it all at once.
Right. That
Release
was a
it weekly.
huge mistake.
I would have loved to have reviewed it weekly. It would have been great. would
You'd
be
have
great.
people talking about it longer, like
Yeah.
around the water cooler, like the whole water cooler talk thing. That was a thing for a reason. Like you want to keep people, in mind of your show and what you're doing, like regardless of whatever your show is, right?
Mhm.
Don't give it to them all at once because they'll talk about it, once.
And that was I got 2 weeks out of that. That was it. It died
Right.
on the vine. I did my multiple part. I did a 2-part reviews. I reviewed the first half, and then I reviewed the second half. And then I got a couple of streams out of it, including on this very show. And then that was it. It was done.
No.
It was done.
Season 1 wasn't the greatest thing I've ever seen, but I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be either. So
Yeah, that was it. That was it.
yeah, I'll probably check out season 2. And it'll probably do pretty well because there is a lot of goodwill amongst like your average watchers. So
I'm because I did season 1. I'm locked into season 2, so I'm kind of required to do it. And I'm not hating the idea of it. I will hate it if it's a dump again. At least do 2 episodes a week. If you have to still dump them in chunks, do 2 a week, but don't dump all 8 at once. Because then because it took me an entire weekend to get through it. I couldn't talk to anybody for 3 days because that's all they wanted to talk about. I had to seclude myself. So it was retarded. It's like with Cobra Kai. I still haven't watched Cobra Kai new season because there's still 2 more parts coming out. Stupid. So I think we're gonna put a wait and see on this one. We need to see what they do with it. If they keep it tight, I think it'll be overall received. If they piss on the New Vegas lore some more, it's gonna cause an internet war. There'll be some salty firings going on, I think.
Yeah, they need to trim all the fat out, and like you were saying, just focus on our main party, which is Lucy and the ghoul and the dog, and to heck with everything else.
I mean, the ghoul trying to kill his wife, that's fine. She was evil. We saw she was evil in the first season. That's his man, and she's in New Vegas, where Kyle MacLachlan went. So,
also kind of impressed that they made a black woman the bad guy.
Yeah. So we'll put a wait and see on that one. You guys feel okay about that? Put a wait and see on it, and
sure.
I'll wait and see who dies.
Okay, this is a big one here now. Metal Gear Solid. They've been trying to do Metal Gear Solid for 20 years.
Yeah,
it'll never work.
Don't they have the guy who did fucking Skull Island for this one?
I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on because they've been trying to do it for 20 years. So it's one of those in purgatory development things. So I have no idea where this is. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised on the list, but I'm surprised we're talking about it because this is beloved.
Yeah.
And one wrong move and everybody hates it.
Yeah, I would say.
Wasn't this created by the same guy who created Death Stranding though too?
Well, yeah, but the thing is, you can kind of. I think with Metal Gear, you had Konami at least kind of tell Kojima to maybe stop with some of his other shit. Unlike with Death Stranding, where he just had a little too much free reign. I think with Metal Gear, you could definitely turn it into a movie or series of movies to a degree. As long as you embrace like the craziness, the chaoticness, not try to do what some fucking people do these days where they feel like they're ashamed to be doing fucking comic book properties or or fucking video game stuff. You just have to accept, hey, this is a wacky ass world where, they've got these whack ass names.
We got mechas too. There's mechs.
Yeah, we have mechas. We have fucking telepaths. We have goddamn.
You got
jokes
naked
about
cyborgs hiding their junk.
Yeah.
And you got clones, you got this and that. I mean, you got dudes who are using just to make fun of the recent stuff from earlier this year. We watched Beardo try to play Metal Gear Solid, bouncing bullets off walls to hit you. I mean, it's
a lot of really bizarre flavor dialogue.
You have to embrace the video game logic. And the problem is, I think we live in a current entertainment world where they're not willing to do that. We have to ground it in reality. Has to be
God,
grounded.
I hate that reality bullshit.
But that's what they do. So I listen, I never really played any of the Metal Gear Solid games. I've watched other people play them. I'm just familiar with some of the lore. I played the NES games, and that was kind of it. I have no horse in this race. If it works, I'd watch it. If it doesn't work, I'd roast it. It's that simple. Then again, I probably wouldn't even review it because I have no foundation. You know me, I'm not going to review something if I have no foundation on it and I can't properly critique it. So I'd be a sideline observer on this one, and I'd see how the true Metal Gear fans react to this. And unless you follow the actual storyline, and as I just said, go with the fact that it's a video game world with video game rules, you're fucked. You're fucked because too many people would want the actual thing. So, and I don't know. I don't know if it's on here just because it's been in gestation for 20 years or there is some actual movement on it right now. So I don't know. I have no idea. But if it works,
We'll see, I guess.
if it works, it's a grand slam. If they mess it up, it gets destroyed by internet gamer nerds, annihilated. Super Mario Brothers 2, the movie. Well, the first one made $1.3 billion.
Oh yeah, this one's gonna do well no matter what.
Yeah.
As long just don't just stay the course, man. Just stay the course. You're fine. It was fun. The worst part was Seth Rogen. And that rest was fine. There is a hiccup now. It's like one I'd love if they didn't do Jack Black, but Jack Black was really good as Bowser. He was really good.
Well, here's the thing. I'm wondering if in the second one, if they're going to bring in his kids. As the protagonist.
You mean Bowser Jr. or you mean the Koopa kids? The Koopa kids.
The Koopa kids.
I was all for that.
Different characters.
I said go Super Mario Brothers 3. I mean, I think when we talked about this a year ago, I said go Super Mario Brothers 3. Bring in the Koopa kids and have them trying to break him out of prison.
Yeah.
With their airships and their floating fortresses. Just do that. Go balls to the freaking wall. Go nuts. You don't need Donkey Kong though. Solve the Seth Rogen. You don't need Donkey Kong. You can remove him from the equation because we don't need Seth Rogen. But just bring in the Koopa kids. Have a mixture of Mario 3 and Super Mario World, so you can get some Yoshi action in there and all that kind of stuff. Bring in the best things to take it to the next level. And I think I think it works. I have no idea what they're going to do. They're not even currently really working on it. They're working on something else right now. So if they don't break formula, if Nintendo does what we said earlier, doesn't listen to anybody and just listens to Illumination, and Illumination does great work again, you got probably another $1 to $1.5 billion movie. Easy. Massive success again.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's much more to say on that. So I'm willing to move on. Until Dawn, I do not know this franchise.
Oh God, yeah.
It was one movie.
No.
I mean, one game.
Here's the thing. It's not even going to be the actual story of the game. It's completely different. Instead of the friends that go up to this guy's like winter
ski
cabin
lodge
in the mountains.
It's a ski lodge in the
mountain, and like you're dealing with choices and whatnot. It's just going to be about two sisters who get stuck in a fucking time loop of dying over and over again, and they're trying to solve this fucking issue. So it's just Happy Death Day.
Did they do a Supernatural episode that was fine?
Yeah.
Did that.
They've done that story a billion times. Time loop. How do we get out of it? Oh my God, we keep dying. There was that Valentine one where the girl keeps dying on her birthday or whatever.
Happy Death Day.
That was Happy Death Day. Okay, yeah, they've done this before. It's a one because it has no name recognition. The name of the game series. It has one game, so no one's gonna really think about it. The story's not original. It's not even the story of the game, so you're not even gonna get the fans of the game to come to it. It's dead on rival. They bought it probably cheap because, like I said, it literally is one game. So they probably got it cheap, hoping that they might be able to, I don't know, pinch a couple fans out, and it's gonna go nowhere. A 1. Easy.
Yeah, because and even if they weren't doing this, the problem is the whole point of the game is that it's essentially just a choose your own adventure movie where the choices you make could hinder how many people fucking die into it. Yeah, you could try to do a movie, but the problem is you're taking away the biggest aspect of the game, which was make your choice of this or this and see the repercussions, because this game was actually doing something that Telltale was getting shit for. When a choice happened, something fucking happened in response. It wasn't just one or the other, Now, granted, the execution wasn't always great, but it did something. But this DOA, like Devil said.
I'll take your word for it. It sounds like a mess and a disaster. All right, this next one. Gears of War. People have been begging for this forever.
Days Gone. Oh, no, you're right. We're cutting across. That's right.
Yeah.
I feel like Gears of War, I think, is like kind of pretty easy to do for a film adaptation, especially if you're doing like what game for game, because it's like there's not a whole lot to really worry about. Like maybe as long as you have certain scenes or sections, you could like really get into it. The first game alone is pretty good. You have, the Cogs and Marcus like getting out of prison and dealing with the locusts, and they're like having to figure out a way to, destroy them. And there's your movie, there's your quest. People were wanting fucking Dave Bautista to play Marcus, but then they just never went anywhere.
The Pearl thing. Now people can't really see him in action.
No, dude, don't go vegan. The thing is, when I was during that era, this was one of the few things that I did regret not being an Xbox owner of at the time, because Gears of War, and I'm not a FPS gamer anyway, not that much, but it looked like a fantastic franchise to get into.
It was a fun one, for the first 3 games. Judgment was,
but well, I mean, like as the little brother to Halo at the time,
Yeah, it definitely was the little brother to Halo,
Yeah. And look what they did with Halo.
Does that mean we're gonna get man-ass through the whole fucking thing? And
I believe this is attached to Amazon.
Man-ass getting chainsawed.
I don't know about. I don't know. If I recall correctly, I think this was.
It's either Netflix or Amazon. I don't remember.
I think it was Netflix, because I don't recall if it's Amazon.
Okay, so if it's Netflix, we know Netflix. It's 50-50. It's either going to be utter shit or brilliant.
Yeah, and if it's Netflix, then it probably would be a series, which kind of would be a little bit better.
Oh, it would be a series. It would be a series. Yeah.
Yeah, which probably would be better for it, because you could still condense it into a movie, but if as a series, you could definitely get a little bang for your buck on that one, because you could focus on some of the characters. Yeah, I would definitely check it out.
But I wouldn't review it because, as I just revealed, I have zero background on it. I'd be simply a sideline watcher again, and I'd let other people talk about it. Now, if I brought in the conversation, I'd say whether or not I liked it, and then maybe need to be told, well, this didn't happen, and I'd be open to being told that. But I definitely watch it if it was put out. I would. Who doesn't want to watch dudes with guns shooting aliens?
I mean, yeah, I like let me chainsaw like some monstrous goddamn creature from hell. That's just fun.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on if. Yeah, with man-ass. Why is he butt naked running across the battlefield?
Don't ask questions.
Yeah, don't ask questions. You want the answers to. It's if they stick to the lore, if they stick to the story. If it's Netflix, chances are, like I said, they're gonna try to give us a strong woman who's like the only one who's made the cut, and she's better than all the Minses.
Instead of Marcus Marjorie.
And yeah, she's gonna rule the battlefield. All the aliens are gonna be scared of her, and they're gonna be like, dudes, but that chick, stay away from her. It's gonna be lame if they Netflix it.
Yeah, if they Netflix it, perfect way to put it. Okay, Duke Nukem, motherfucker. They've been trying to do this shit for 30 years. For 30
Can't
years.
be done. Can't be
It
done.
can't.
Can't be
No,
done.
It,
Can't be
it
not
could
done.
be done in
today.
the 90s. In the 90s, it could have
Yeah.
been done, but not now.
It's way too masculine. They're never gonna. They would have to change it so much to push everything out of it that they find disgusting and wrong and shit, and then it wouldn't be Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
Second boss in Duke Nukem 3D. He says, "I'm gonna rip off your head and shit down your neck" at the beginning of the fight. At the end of the fight, there is a cutscene of him ripping the enemy's head off, getting a newspaper, dropping trowel, and taking a shit right down its neck. This will never happen.
And here's the thing.
I
Also,
mean, unless you got Eli Roth to do it.
but
Oh
and
Christ, no!
at the same time, I don't think anybody gives a shit about Duke Nukem anymore.
way
Duke
too-
Nukem's kind of like he's gone from the time.
Us old fellows, we're all like, "Ooh, Duke Nukem." The younger crowd they're not gonna give a shit about that.
Hang on, I'm just seeing. No, Jay Frazier, I did not see it, and that's a good moment. Just take a break in the middle of this list to bring this up right now. Jay Frazier 360, hail to you. No, I did not see your suggestions, and let me explain that for those who may not know what Jay Frazier's talking about. Starting next week, we only have one episode left of Rings of Power Season 2, which means Saturday Night Drive-In will be returning the following week. But Jed and I are instituting a brand new once-a-quarter event where you, the fans, you, the audience and subscribers, get to choose once a quarter what Jed and I watch. And right now for this week, from yesterday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. next Sunday, you will now give us your suggestions, one apiece. You only get one. And the rules are thus: no porn, no softcore porn, no slasher horror. Has to be a horror movie that has an actual story to it. No slasher horror, and no miniseries. And you have to understand it has to be something we can actually talk about. So,
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants for the win.
well, that could be put in there.
So if I suggested,
I think that's a horror movie.
It is.
The sad thing is, I think I've seen it once.
Sam's just jealous because I took his pick.
Anyway,
No,
ahead,
I'm
Bubby, you say
pissed because he said no
Oh.
softcore porn, and my suggestion was going to be Dick Shark with Misty Monday.
Go ahead, Bug. You were going to say something.
So I guess if I suggested a Neil Breen movie, you'd say no.
I don't even know who that is.
What?
He doesn't want to be on your show no more.
Oh, you must have made it after. If you made it this afternoon, then I haven't checked since this afternoon. So I will go take a look. Okay, I will go take a look. Remember, you only get one choice. Everybody only gets one pick. So you have to make sure you zero in, and that's your pick. We've only got about 3 or 4 at the moment. And what we're going to do is when we're reached 4 p.m. or the end of Roundtable next week, we'll have them. I'm going to give them to a third party, a couple of people. They are going to make the list. And then about 24, 40 hours later, before the end of the following, by the end of the following, I'm sorry, for the rest of the week, up until the next roundtable, I will be a community poll on my YouTube channel, or a poll on my community tab on YouTube channel with 5 movies, and you guys get to choose. And Jed and I have to do it. We have to. And we know we are
To make sure they're
open.
real good ones, guys.
We are leaving ourselves open to get destroyed.
I'm looking for the most torturous girl films ever. Like, I'm thinking Terms of Endearment. I'm thinking Sister of the Traveling Pants.
Dude, I
Steel
got it.
Magnolias.
I got it. Requiem for a Dream.
Oh God!
Oh.
Well, you guys have to send me these things because you guys all 3 of you get to make submissions. You get to everybody who is either a friend of the channel or in the chat. Everybody gets to submit something.
Joy Luck Club.
Oh God. Because right now, what we have right now, I'm gonna check Jay Frazier's thing right now. I'm going to the comments. And a great way to do it right now is on the comments of streams is to submit it. That's a great way to do it because then it's locked in. Otherwise, if you do it in chat here, I will take a screenshot of it in studio and see it. Here we go. Terry Gilliam's Brazil. Okay, that's well, you have to choose one. You have to choose one, Jay Fraser. Either one, Terry Gilliam's Brazil or Last Starfighter. So choose one. You can comment in tonight's stream or later on, or tell me right now which one you want. You can only choose one. That's the thing. That you can't. People cannot submit more than one a time. But if we take one of those two in there involved now, our other two current suggestions, legitimate ones that have been given, are who is a interview 1998 starring Hugo Weaving, and then Equilibrium starring Christian Bale. So those are the other ones. So Brazil. Okay. So I will. Since you already commented in the roundtable thing, I will lock that in, and as I add it to the list. So thank you, Jay Fraser, participating, and everybody, feel free to participate. It is this is your chance to really make us suffer. And at this point, I'm not sure if we're going to have a guest that week or not. I guess it kind of depends on the movie. So if it's one that somebody would really want to chip on, or if it's something really bad, do we want to make somebody suffer with us? It all depends on. Yeah, other rule, guys. Yeah, other rule. We have to be able to get our hands on it. That's another rule. It has to be something Jed and I can actually get our hands on easily through either the means I do it or the more legitimate means that Jed does it. So you can't. So I don't know if this is something, Frank, that we could easily get our hands on. So I don't know. I do not know. There's nothing wrong with foreign films. That's allowed. I mean, I'm perfectly capable of reading subtitles. I do it all the time when I watch anime. So it has to be something that we can easily find. So there it is, guys. So please, I'll remind you guys at the end of the stream again. Submit your ideas, your suggestions, your desires.
Romy and Michelle's high school reunion.
It's actually kind of a fun movie.
God, I can't stand Mira Sorvino anymore. Is the problem?
I put my suggestion in the live chat, and that's my actual serious suggestion. I'm just going to leave it at that.
All right, I will screenshot that right now, even though you're here. I need to keep a record of it, otherwise I will forget.
Yeah. Anything else I say is a joke. That's my actual suggestion.
Okay. All right. Got it. Screenshot saved.
Are you going to make them watch the dubbed or the subbed?
God damn it. I did it again.
It's better if you watch subs, but that's up to him.
Well, if anything, we would watch it in its original language. I would say
French.
Anything suggested would be watched in its original production. And if you're offering something that has a director's cut, we're going to assume you want us to watch a director's cut, a definitive version of something. We're going to assume.
I can't watch anything in French. Are you kidding me?
What?
Blah,
Some
blah,
of it's in
blah,
Algonquin.
Snails, blah, 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 penis, blah, blah, smoke a cigarette, blah, blah, blah. Scrap. Baguettes.
C'est comme my baguette, monsieur.
Anyway, so there it is, guys.
Seriously.
Feel free to participate. And thank you, Jay Fraser. And yeah, we'll come back later, and when you wake up, and check out when we get to those shows on here. Okay, so let's continue with the list. All right, back to the list. Where were we? Duke Nukem is so it's never going to happen.
One,
because nobody cares about it anymore, and it wouldn't pass modern day thinkability. Detective Pikachu 2. I don't care about Pokemon. I don't care.
I hated the first one.
I think they're going to make $1 billion off of Cloud alone.
I was looking for a Cloud joke. I was looking for one. I couldn't find one yet in my head.
I don't know how they're going to top the first one.
I don't know. It's Pokemon, and from what I understand, the first one was like received pretty okay, for the most part. So it'll probably do well, and I imagine there is like a market. There is a want for something like this because it's Pokemon
Reynolds.
people.
Ryan Reynolds,
Ryan Reynolds too, but just for Pokemon stuff in general. You know,
Pikachu, Ryan Reynolds.
I got-
even though it'll be lame, I'm sure it'll probably get a 4. I'm sure it'll
Yeah,
do well.
so I
people
got
wanted Danny
dragged to this.
DeVito to beat Pikachu though.
I got dragged to this by my oldest, who is a Pokemon fanatic, which is the only reason I even knew it existed in the first place. I did not enjoy it, but she is a huge Pokemon fan, and she loved it. So I assume that it's probably going to play well to that crowd.
Mm-hmm. The Pokemaniacs are gonna love this shit. They love anything. They love anything Pokemon. They eat it up. Doesn't matter what. They'll go for it. It'll do well. It'll or at the very least, it'll do well in the segment of the population that loves it. So
I'm not gonna watch it, but I will watch Pow World version of it.
Yeah, because you can at least put a gun to the Pikachu's head and be like, "Make my fucking sweater, bitch."
All right. Okay. Minecraft movie. This is a legitimate, normal news we're talking about these days. This thing's DOA. It's fucking
Dead.
DOA. We don't know this. We already know this.
Not even a 1.
It's a 0.
Dead. Next victim.
Next. We don't. It's a regular story we've already talked about. We don't need to go any further. Return to Silent Hill. I don't play the Silent Hill games. I have no concept of this. So
this isn't going to be based on the games per se, so much as it is going to be a sequel to the 2 silent film movies that already exist. Only one of which was even mostly decent. The other one is absolute garbage.
Well,
so this is just a continuation of that shit. It's not going to do well. The first movie almost nobody heard about. It was all. I don't remember if it went straight to video or not, but it may have.
I'll be real. I think I only saw the second one, and that was because it was in my fucking local store on the rentals. And
that sucks, buddy. The second one's the bad one.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even know there was another one at that time because I wasn't even familiar with Silent Hill, like as a game thing. I just saw there was like, oh, crazy monsters, and then they have the fucking pyramid head fight the weird lady monster at the end. And I'm just like,
yeah.
Oh.
Somebody gifted me it, and I've never watched the first one. I wasn't necessarily a big fan of the games, and so I just never really got into the movies. Yeah.
Yeah, from my.
Sorry, but go ahead. Okay. So as video game movies go, right? Most video game movies follow the "it's gonna suck" rule, right? Like even the fun ones like Double Dragon and the first Super Mario Brothers movie with like Bob Hoskins and shit.
Street Fighter.
They're not great movies, but they're kind of fun. Yeah, Street Fighter.
Oh, Double Dragon, I love that.
Hold off on that one. We're getting to that one next.
You know, right. But it's there's like a pattern with them. Most of the time they're terrible. Every once in a while you get one that doesn't suck. Silent Hill, the first Silent Hill movie, was one of the few video game adaptations that doesn't suck. It is not consistent with the games, but it is. But as a movie, it's not bad. The first one, just the first one though. The one Bugsaw, total shit.
Yeah, I think it's just like my knowledge of it is like it can work as a good little horror movie, but the problem is it would probably devolve into the same thing that like later games did, where they get a little too caught up in the iconic shit, the scantily clad nurses with no faces, fucking pyramid head. When those are specific creations that are meant to pop up for one guy, because the whole point of Silent Hill is there's this place that conjures up these fucked up monsters based off the shit in your head, and
yeah,
and the ones that people know about is because it was the main character's just fucking repressed horniness. That's why he was seeing like weird fucking nurses and with their titties out and a giant pyramid head guy,
Yeah, because he regretted killing his wife, wasn't it? That was the whole thing of it. Was he killed his wife? Was like a mercy killing or something, and then
he kills his wife. But the way to play the game, it could turn out in two ways. It's either like he regrets like doing a mercy killing, or he regrets like having to deal with taking care of her, and he's like, "Fuck this! I'll kill this bitch and be done with it." So, but it was still like he killed her. It just depended on what choices you made in the game determined like why he did the killing. But like, I don't know. I'll be honest. The fact that that we don't hear anything about this tells you kind of everything you need to know. It's gonna pop up. People might remember it for like 2 seconds and then forget about it.
It's niche. It's extremely niche. Is in the end. I think
Oh, there won't be any press for this.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Okay. Street Fighter.
Yeah.
How many times have we done this?
They
Street
better
Fighter.
focus on Cammy.
No, it's Chun-Li. You shut up. How many times have we already done Street Fighter? I mean,
Well, you did
goddamn.
You did the one with Jean-Claude Van Damme, which
why did it have to be Raul Julia's last movie? Why?
Well, that was because it was his grandson. His grandson said, "Hey, can
He
you
was
really
so
do this
good
for
in
me?"
it, though.
Well, he was just chewing scenery. I mean, he was just over.
Well,
He just leaned into it. He leaned into it. Is what he did.
Well,
He's Ralph
hey
fucking
man,
Julia.
that man said, "I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna put my heart out in
Ha
this."
ha ha ha!
It was
Ah,
Tuesday.
Yes, he did.
I mean, the fact that
For,
line
for
is
you,
so
it was the most
iconic.
important day of your life. For me, it was Tuesday.
And the fact that
He's Raul
that
Julia.
line,
He was great. I just wish
That-
it wasn't his last fucking movie.
the fact that line is so iconic that it just got stapled onto the game character just kind of shows that effect. Now, I don't know about this new one, and I'll be honest, I'm not too versed on Street Fighter. I know like some character names, I know of Chun-Li and Cammy and Ryu and some stuff, but other than that, I'm kind of like, I don't know much about it. It's like, okay, you could do a movie off it, maybe. I'll fucking know.
You need to go back to Street Fighter 2 and start from there. Don't do Street Fighter 1. That would be annoying and terrible. But don't try to do it with the massive cast, the roster that they have now. Keep it simplified to the ones people love. Do an actual Shadow Law storyline and have Ryu be the hero. Don't try to make freaking
Guile?
Guile, thank you. Don't try to make Guile the hero again. Don't try to make Chun-Li the hero. Ryu. Go the classic
You know
route.
what
Ryu is the hero.
You know what they could do? Because he kind of looks more like him now. They could hire Jean-Claude Van Damme to play Dulcine.
Yoga flame, yoga fire.
He looks like so much beef jerky in a muscle shirt at this point.
Well, he looks better than Steven Seagal, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's true.
Tin.
Because Seagal sucked all the fat out of him.
I can't wait to see freaking M. Bison look like Donald Trump.
Oh,
That'll be
God.
so great.
I know. You know what? I wouldn't even start with Bison. I mean, yes, I just said don't go the route of one, but start with a different member of Shadow Law as the main villain. Just either way. Problem is, it's such a bloated franchise. I don't even know if they can do it at this point. I don't know.
It'd be a daunting attempt.
And the problem is, they probably cast the fuggliest chicks as Cammy and Chun-Li too. They would have cast hot chicks.
Oh, come on. It won't even matter if they casted the hottest chicks. They'd probably make them, like, they'd probably fugly them up, and then freaking the iconic outfits, you'd never see them.
That chick
You're not
from,
seeing that green leotard anywhere.
Yeah, that chick from freaking Last Man Standing, who's in the Last of Us Part 2, she could play Cammy.
She'd be a thin ass Cammy.
She's not busty enough. We need titties.
Give her
We need
fake titties, man.
We need titties.
You need to, like, give her some
put her in
fucking
that green
wheat cakes,
leotard. Put whatever kind of freaking water jugs you want behind.
And it's no.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, so listen, it could go really well or horribly wrong. I mean, it's just they need to just I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. Who's even making it? I don't even know who's making it.
It's only ever gone horribly wrong in the past. I think wasn't there even like a really shitty Saturday morning cartoon.
Oh, there were several. There have been several animated movies. There was that horrible, shitty one where Guile was leading a team, and then they actually got to the point where Cammy did betray them and remember she was Shadow Law, and it was
Wasn't it the one where she has this weird delivery where she goes like it's all lies, everything is lies.
Yeah,
I remember
they actually
seeing
got
that.
far enough. They actually got far enough where she reverted to her Shadow Law personality. It's never gone right. I mean, some of them actually, some of the movies were good, like the one where it has the Chun-Li shower scene where you see her titties.
Oh yeah, that was
good.
two.
We always remember that.
Good. That was good. I was like, whoa, hey now.
Yeah, Chun-Li doing all of her moves in her white panties. Oh,
she fought Vega
oh.
in a t-shirt and underoos. It was great. That was a good movie. Although I did feel like they kind of cheesed out having both Ken and Ryu fight Bison at the end. They kind of did cheap out on that one. There were a couple of good ones here and there, but but Sam was right. Most attempts at making Street Fighter into a media franchise outside of video games have failed miserably every time. Unless it's porn, then it works for some reason. Days Gone, another one I have no knowledge of.
So
okay, I have
more
intimate
zombie
knowledge
apocalypse
with this
shit.
one.
Okay, Bug first.
Okay, well, this was zombie apocalypse game. Has the guy who played Star Killer and voiced Darth Maul in Clone Wars.
Sam Witwer.
Yep, Sam Witwer. Pretty good story. Pretty, it drags out a little bit at the tail end because it's a fucking 30-hour long thing, but it was a pretty good game. Okay, you could definitely make it a movie, but the problem is, even though it was a decent game, I don't think there's a lot of demand for it. I mean, you could have a little bit of fun with it, especially since you could do some crazy zombie shit, because the whole point of that game was like you're dealing with like giant hordes, like World War Z style shit, and the fun, rough, tough biker aesthetic. But they already made a mistake when, for casting, they didn't even get Sam Witwer again. They just casted somebody else, which is like, oh, fuck you. I don't want this. Because it's like, you have the guy right there. It's easy. He did the fucking mocap. His face is on the fucking character. Like, go hire him. He's not doing anything. Star Wars isn't hiring him for any fucking thing. And he's not doing any fucking shit for Supergirl or the CW. Fucking give him a job. Yeah. But no. I don't think there's any big demand for it. And I already feel that it's already shot itself in the foot by not getting Sam Witwer back in it, because that would have been an instant buy for me. I just don't. I want nothing to do with this one.
All right, go ahead, Sam.
Nah, it's just the whole zombie apocalypse thing again.
Mm-hmm.
That shit's been played out since season 7 of the fucking Walking Dead, man. Like, which came along after a decade of zombie shit.
And I personally hate zombie shit. I hate zombie shit.
I don't. I'm
not a fan.
Like most of the rest of the world, we've kind of moved on from that kind of thing. We don't need another zombie apocalypse, story. I'm sure I haven't played this game now. Like, Bug's got one up on me there. I don't know much about this game itself, but and if it's a great game, great. That's awesome. But I just don't see that there's a need for that in the market as a movie or TV series currently.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. Not really, because it doesn't. The whole point of it is you're playing as this biker who lost his wife, and you're kind of chilling out with your best friend during the apocalypse. It's been about 2 or so years since it happened, and you're just kind of living on by, and then you find some information that might lead you to information about your wife, and then you later discover, oh, she's alive, and there's more to it going on. And there was some stuff at the end that they were teasing off, and it was fun, but I don't think there's a big demand for it. Like, you could do something, you have to trim some shit out, but yeah, I don't think there's
no market
much for it. I don't think there's much market. Like, as much as I hate to admit it, the zombie market is not really. It was way oversaturated. It got used up a lot, so people are not going to be as into it. Plus, while it was a fun game, it kind of did rely on the trend of, oh well, yeah, zombies are there, but you're dealing mostly with people to a degree, and that's never that fun because it's like zombie apocalypse. Oh yeah, but humans are just as bad as zombies. And it's like,
I hate that shit. I'm
yeah,
tired of it.
so it did that. Granted, it was teasing off shit at the end, but that was at the end when they thought they were going to get a sequel, and they didn't get a sequel.
Well, so this one sounds like a loser. Sounds like,
Yeah.
not loser because it sucks. Loser because it's just it's not there. Nobody wants it.
There's no demand for it.
Yeah, exactly. Gravity Rush. I've heard of this. I have no idea what the hell this is though.
I have no fucking.
Is this
clue what
like
it is.
Candy Crush or some shit? Is this like one of those games on your phone or whatever?
All right, this looks like I have to look it up. No, it's a legitimate game. I'm gonna have to look it up though. Hang on, let me look it up. All right,
Never heard of it.
I've heard of it, but I'm not exactly sure. Maybe when I see a picture, I'll recognize it. If I can spell Gravity Rush. Okay, this just looks like a anime type thing. It's got some hot chicks in it. I don't know what this is. This is niche. This looks like it.
Hot chicks always sell.
Yeah, but are they going to actually make her hot? Is the question. It's from the PS Vita days. It's got remastered on the PS4. This thing is ancient in today terms. Yeah, it's very anime based. Looks like anime style. And I could show. Yeah, I could show it to you guys. I might as well show you what I'm looking at. Let me switch this up here. So this is it. That's I don't think anybody knows what this is.
No.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Not bringing up any memories.
Yeah, I mean,
and if it's like an anime thing, well, I don't.
It's gonna have a very, very specific audience.
Yeah.
And so I don't think this is a winner. I just don't.
I'd say 2, just because I don't.
You don't want to be mean.
Yeah. I'll say 1 or lower. That's the only way this does well is if they have an incredible marketing campaign.
They'd have to really sell it, get people like educate people, and they're not smart enough to do that. Okay, moving on. Like a Dragon, Yakuza Like a Dragon. This is a massive franchise.
Oh yeah, no, that one's dead.
It's a massive franchise. People love it. I know people who love it, but it's too big. I think it's too big.
That fucking thing, that series is dead because
it is. Well, because of what happened in the last game, right?
No. The show they're trying to do.
Oh,
because the actors actually spoke out and said that the people behind the show told them to not play the fucking game.
You're right. You're right. I'd forgotten that.
So that tells you everything you need to know. So it's like you're not getting that you're not getting a fucking Yakuza show. You're getting whatever the fuck these fucking creeps think you want as a Yakuza.
Where do we know where this is coming out of?
It's on Amazon.
Oh, well, fuck off. So there you go. So yeah, this one's done. Then it's done. It's another. Don't read the source material. Don't play the source material. Just do what we tell you to do. So yeah, it's done. That sucks because, as I said, I know people who love this franchise. They love it. They've tried to get me to play it for years, and I just have no interest in it.
I don't know this series. So.
You're basically a dude. It starts with you're a dude taking over. When it was a lot more serious, it's gotten a little more out there in the later installments, from what I can understand. But basically, Japanese mafia. You're a dude taking over your father's Yakuza gang, and you got to grow it and fight for your life and do shit. So, but it's gotten a little out there, but people love it. It's got a serious following, and if what Bugs say is true, they said don't bother playing the games. You're fucked. You're done. If you can't bring in the core audience, you're not going to bring in an audience at all. You're not. It's another one of those situations. Pac-Man.
Look. They made a movie out of Battleship, and they made a movie about fucking emojis. This is doable.
We talked about Battleship just the other day.
I'm saying, if Battleship gets a movie, if fucking emojis got a movie, Pac-Man will do just fine.
Listen, did you ever watch the Pac-Man cartoon show in the 80s? You ever see that one?
Long time ago, yeah.
That thing was just little bit of acid, just a little bit. I guess if it's Pac-Man and Pac World, sure. If it's Pac-Man and Pac World, go for it. It's gonna be a kids movie for sure. There's no way you make this thing for adults. Go for it. Whatever. What else can I say? Watch him eat the bananas a long way. I don't know. So Pac-Man. Okay, fine. Sniper Elite. I know of this franchise. I've never played it. I don't even know what time period.
I know of it because I think in like one of the games you could shoot Hitler in the balls and that's it.
You're a sniper. I don't know. You want to watch a sniper movie? Go watch the
billion movies that are named Sniper.
Yeah, this is a franchise. I forget the guy's name. Shit, he was in The Substitute. Suddenly forgot his name. But you go watch his movie Sniper.
Yeah, there's like 12 sequels.
There are
plenty of sniper movies.
Yeah, we don't need this. This is a niche game. This is not a big budget. Everybody plays a game. This is a niche game. Oh, okay, Samuel's got a connection problem. Just see that. All right. So I don't think this does well. Nobody cares.
No, I don't either.
No.
I think I think a 1 probably.
Yeah. Okay. This is sad as we come to Warhammer 40K because in roughly 3 months, unless they reach a deal in 3 months, it's done. It's not happening. They've been trying to work out the details for 2 years now with Cavill's production company and Amazon. They have not come to terms. They literally have until the end of December to come to terms. So if it comes to terms and Cavill remains essentially executive producer, and probably showrunner of it, and it adheres to the lore, you have one of the biggest, most popular shows of all time. And if it doesn't come to terms, never happens, go enjoy Space Marine 2. This is Amazon not realizing they have a massive win on their hands if they just shut up and get out of the way. I never played 40K. I played fantasy, but I watched guys play 40K. I hung out with guys who played 40K. By osmosis, I know some of the lore over the years. This is exactly what nerds want. Just look at what's going on with Space Marine 2 right now. This is exactly what everybody wants. Dark, grim, a dying universe, chaos gods, orcs, space marines, Tyranids, all that good shit, man. All of it. I would love to see a season where they have to hold off a WOG. That a WOG gets going and the orcs just tear across the galaxy. I would love to see that. That would be great for me as a Warhammer fan, because I love orcs, I love greenskins. This is a win, and Amazon is retarded. They want to put money into fucking God of War. They want to put money into some of the other shit we've talked about on here, and they are unable to come to terms with what has been one of the most desired franchises in current day.
Yeah. But that's part of the course. These film studios don't know how to get out of their own way.
Mm-hmm. This is retarded. It's just retarded. This should have been an easy, okay. Cavill loves it. Cavill he's very popular with nerds. He's just coming off of Witcher, where it's reported that he didn't get along with the people there because he wanted to do it right. And now he's got the power. He's worked it out with Games Workshop that they're going to let him do it right. It's got all the positive buzz you want. The fans are ready for it. And what do? You can't come to terms. This is stupid. It's dumb. So it's going to be a tragedy, because if it's not getting, unless we get a 11th hour deal, it doesn't look like this is happening. It's tragedy. Goddamn tragedy. I would love nothing more than to watch and review this. I would love nothing more than to do that and have a good time and cheer it. Watch Cavill take off a helmet and say "For the Emperor." That'd be man, people lose their shit. Be like, yeah, let's fucking go. But no, can't do it. Can't do it because we're not allowed to have nice things. Not allowed to have nice things. Any other thoughts on this? I don't.
Well, if they have to get their heads out of their asses, otherwise, if this is not like a proper Warhammer 40K thing where Henry's just allowed to do his thing and make a proper thing for the fans, this show is fucked.
Yep. Well, here's how I see it. I'd rather have them not do it than do it bad. That's the thing. Is if it's the old sage, if you can't do something right, don't do it at all. Same thing. If they take it all the restrictions I'm sure they want to put off and let him do it as a fan the way he wants to, it'd be probably great. We'd all love it, or we'd all be like, oh, is it decent? But we're gonna be honest no matter what. But if they want to sit there and try to put modern day into a story that doesn't need it and ruin it, then I'd rather them just it die now. It sucks that we're not going to get it, but I'd rather have it not be done. And
that's, I think, what it's going to be. We're either going to get it or we're not going to get it. I don't think they'll go on without him because he's the one that Games Workshop has worked out a deal with. So it's either going to happen or not going to happen. And they're retarded if they don't let it happen. Just that simple. Assassin's Creed. The movie was shit. The movie was dog shit.
Yeah, no, that was not good.
We've heard what they're trying to do with this, if I remember correctly, and it's another disaster in the making. They don't know. Not even Ubisoft knows what to do with their own goddamn franchise right now.
No, they don't. I think, if I recall correctly, this is not the only thing they want to do. I think there was a movie, and then there was another. I think there's a series, both animated and live action on Netflix. I know there's something with Netflix.
I think this is the live action show. I think that's what this is.
Yeah, I just because I know what they're gonna do. They're gonna do that thing they did with the movie where they take where it's gonna be. It takes place in the universe of the games, but it's
it's a rando thing too.
Yeah, it would be a rando thing, which is like okay, I guess. It's like all right, that's one thing. Maybe like you could do that, but the problem is you're not good at it, guys. You tried it and you did the thing that the movie we were more interested. I was more interested in the fucking actual assassin, that Michael Fassbender was playing, not the fucking future, the present day shit.
Yeah, we're never interested in the present day shit. We never are. That's the thing.
Like once you got up to like fucking Brotherhood, and you cut that fucking future storyline off. Granted, it was a shitty ending to that saga, and then the loopholes you left in had to be closed off by fucking comic books.
Yeah.
So ridiculous there. But, at least when you thought, okay, we're done with the present day stuff, we could just focus on like this historical war between these two organizations throughout time, because you have an infinite amount of historic events to take place in and have fun with in your sandbox. But it's like, fuck, you can't even do that shit right.
Yeah.
I
mean, I know Samuel has probably some definite thoughts on this. So when he comes back, we'll let him weigh in on this too. Because he loved the original trilogy and then he stopped when that ended. He said, okay, the story's over. I'm done. So I know he'll have thoughts on this. I kind of agree with you, Bug. Just remove the whole animus out of it. Just don't bother with going into the animus. Just tell us historical stories. There he is. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Samuel, Assassin's Creed.
First one was shit. There's no reason to do another one.
Well, this is the show. They're trying to make a show. So, yeah.
On Netflix.
Yeah, even worse.
Yeah. Just don't do it. Yeah. It's going to be terrible.
Just don't. Just leave it the fuck alone. That series is fucking dead. In the games, there's no reason to continue with even the games. There's no reason to do this.
Mm-hmm. I don't disagree. I agree. Arcane Season 2. I didn't watch Arcane Season 1. I don't care.
Jeremy's touching himself.
I watched the first season. I thought it was real good.
A lot of people like it, and that's fine. Just don't tell me to watch it. That's all I'm saying. So
no problem.
Jeremy, shut the fuck up.
Like the beautiful thing about it was it was so good that fans of League of Legends was asking for Riot to make the show like lore be the official canon because they loved it because it accepted the stuff and it did the thing that I wish fucking Blizzard did with Overwatch, because you know how Overwatch would do those crazy good Pixar level animations and shorts for their stuff, but they never did anything. Yeah, it's like they should have done that. Like, make a fucking show for that, because you have this interesting world, but you don't do anything. Arcane did that. And, you know, first season was good. I loved it. I'm very hyped and excited for the second season. And as long as it sticks to landing, it's good. And the fact that even though this is going to be the final season of this particular story, they're still going to do stories in this world, just in different areas of the game, you know, different regions and whatnot. So it's like
Bug,
real good potential.
Do you have any history of League of Legends?
Only from like horror stories I've heard from people
Okay.
about it.
I mean, if I was into League of Legends, I might care. And I
Well,
know
here's
people
the funny thing. I wasn't even a big League of Legends guy.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing, I think it's a trailer or a clip of this like way back then, and I just didn't really give it the time of the day. But then I heard people talk about it, and I'm like, you know what, fine, I'll check it out because I'm curious. And it was on my Netflix, and then I watched it. First 3 episodes really hooked me in, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm kind of in. And then I watched it, and I was really enjoying it.
And I'm happy everybody enjoying it. I just don't care.
Yeah, no, that's no biggie. I'm not gonna. I'm
not
drag
saying you
into
are.
it.
I'm talking to Dermy's fucking ass right now. Go ahead, Devil.
I never watched it. I've gotten suggested it a lot. I'm not against watching it, just haven't got around to it. I played a little bit of League of Legends, but I was more of a. I played a couple MOBAs, but I never got too into them.
Yeah, I'm not into MOBAs.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just not vested in it, but I'm glad that people enjoyed it, and I'm glad that they're getting a season 2 of something that was supposedly very good. Since so much of the shows that are shit are the ones that gain seasons 2. So
yeah, that's my feeling on it. You got your season, have fun with it. That's it. I'm of the whole thing of I really don't believe in telling people to watch shit. I'm not a believer in that. You either come to something on your own or you don't come to it at all. And because when you find something your own, and when we're done with this, I'm gonna make a small announcement that I know is gonna make Samuel smile. You too, Devil. But people generally have the most love for something when they discover it on their own. That's my personal belief. Don't force people to watch shit. And during Arcane season 1, there was a lot of, you have to watch this, you have to watch this, you have to watch this. And that alone makes you go, no, don't tell me I have to watch something.
Like dark mode?
I had that with fucking Stranger Things. Everyone kept telling me, like, oh, you gotta watch it, it's a crazy thing. And it made me actively hate the fucking thing as a whole. I'm like, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah,
like, keep your Stranger Things and your Cobra Kai's away from me. Like, get the fuck away from me. And I'm glad those shows are ending, so I never have to listen to some motherfucker say, you gotta watch it. Like, shut the fuck up.
I mean, that's why we do reviews. We do a review to give you the option to like it, and that's why I never in my reviews say go watch this or don't watch this. I give you the exact thing, and you go make the decision yourself whether you're going to keep going with it or watch it on your own or watch me watch it.
I think I only did one time. I think I only did one video where I actively wanted people to watch it, and that was that Zorro show, and that was it.
and nobody cared.
Nobody cared. Well, I mean, the guy who made the show cared. He retweeted my video.
I know, but the world's like, okay, Zorro show, whatever. All right, so have fun with Arcane 2 season 2, guys. We know Jeremy is. He's gonna be in a closet with the chair and the towel.
Yeah, that's pretty much my feeling. I'm kind of with Devil on this. I've only ever played one MOBA, and it was Smite, and it's only because I've got a vested interest in real world mythology. And then later they added Cthulhu. So yeah, I played a little bit of it, but it's not really my kind of thing. And when they came out with this, I didn't know this was attached to League of Legends. I barely knew anything about League of Legends when this came out. And everybody said it was great. It just, nothing about it reached out and grabbed me. So I just never bothered to watch it. So I'm glad people, like you guys are saying, I'm glad people like it. But I could care less if it continues or not.
I just personally don't like settings like that. The type of world is set in, it doesn't appeal to me. That's a serious bottom line answer to that. I'm not interested in worlds like that. I'm just not. I either want full science fiction or fantasy. I don't like a kind of cyberpunkish type shit. That doesn't do it for me, really. Okay, Stray. This makes no fucking sense. That's the you walk around as the cat game. That makes no fucking sense.
Yeah,
No, it doesn't.
Who you really need to talk to about this game, the only person I know who has even touched it, and she loved it because she loves cats, is the hijabi gamer. But I'm not sure if she's aware of them trying to do something like this.
I know Grump played it. Grumpy old gamer. He played it. He liked it. But Grump plays everything. Grump plays everything.
The hijabi gamer loved this game. But I think it's just because she loves cats. That doesn't necessarily mean it was a good game.
You're the cat in a world of robots with no humans, and you do stuff.
Like, I played Goat Simulator, man, but I wouldn't touch this.
Yeah, so I don't get this. I think this. Nobody's asking for this. No one's asking for straight. No. Okay, this is interesting now. Devil May Cry. They just dropped the trailer.
No.
They just dropped the trailer for the animated series.
Made by the same guy who did the Netflix Castlevania series.
Ooh, which was either great or horrible.
The first two seasons were good, and then after that was shit.
Season 3 was shit. Season 4 redeemed himself.
I don't know about that.
Trevor against Death. That was fucking awesome, dude.
I don't know. I'm not. I wasn't big on Death.
I liked it. I liked it. I liked Death showing up there at the end. That was cool. And Trevor versus Death was a badass fight. But.
If they could remove Camilla from the series, it would be a much better series. But
they got too gay, is what they did. They got too gay.
Yeah, it was pretty gay. First couple seasons were pretty solid, though.
Well, the first one was like literally just 4 episodes, and then season 2 was some great stuff. Season 3, they got super gay. They put Alucard in a goddamn gay bisexual 3-way with a brother and sister. Ugh.
Yeah,
and then the rest of that season was just a god awful mess. And then season 4, to me, they course corrected enough. But then we know what they did, where they did they went straight. They skipped over Simon and went to Richter, and they effed it with that last season they put out. Everybody hated it. So
yeah.
You know what they do? They fuck you with the Castlevania. They fuck you with the Castlevania.
and like that's
so it's the same people. Same people.
With this guy in particular, I don't. At first, I was okay with him doing stuff, but I really don't want. I really don't want him touching the Devil May Cry or any fucking franchise, because you had 2 good seasons with Castlevania or whatever, but everything beyond that, shit. Everything else he's done, shit. And the first trailer video thing that came out for this project, it was all just about him going on about talking about himself, saying, "Oh yeah, I'm totally like Dante and all this shit," and showing off all these other nerd objects, including an unopened copy of Berserk that was on the desk.
We saw. We went
over that. We went over that. Yeah, now I remember that.
I saw that as a fucking threat, because I knew that motherfucker was. I knew that motherfucker was eyeballing.
Was? Oh shit! Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I remember doing that video on here.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, he even in Castlevania, he does make a bunch of Berserk references. I think it was season 3 or 4, I don't know. The big giant lesbian vampire, when she puts on her day armor, that was clearly a reference to Guts' Berserker armor. Like so that guy has his eye on fucking Berserk, and I hope to God he never touches that thing, because I do not need whatever fucker he's gonna do.
Listen,
and I don't have any faith in this.
I don't think anybody wants anybody to touch Berserk right now with the horrible adaptations they keep making of that. So leave it alone. Let them finish the man's vision right now. That's all. Let that do. So Devil May Cry. The trailer came out yesterday, I believe. And people have been reacting to it. I personally don't care. I haven't played a Devil May Cry game since the first one. So
Yeah, it's not my favorite series. I've never cared for it. I don't like the main character. I don't like the story. The only thing it really had going for me was some of the same stuff that you found in a lot of Capcom games at the time, like Onimusha or Resident Evil or whatever.
Mhm.
Like I would rather play those games than Devil May Cry.
Yeah. I enjoyed the first game, but I rented it, and when I was done, I never went back. So I haven't watched the trailer. I'm interested, so we'll find out soon. I guess it's coming out very soon if they just dropped the trailer. We'll find out, and I'm sure we'll comment on how it's been received. We'll probably get some commentary in there. I'm not going to touch it because I don't care. Life is Strange. Isn't that the gay game?
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, that pretty much answers that one.
Yep.
I don't know.
That's the gay game.
Womb
That's the
Raider,
one where-
another one.
Yeah, that's the one where it's choose your own adventure thing, and the girl you play as has basically superpowers. She can basically just turn back time or whatever, and she just does a butterfly effect bullshit. She keeps changing shit to try
So
to
it's
fix stuff.
it's retarded.
It's retarded, and
Yeah,
it's
no, it was
gay.
retarded, and it also had like some of the most unlikable fucking characters you could ever see. That was like, and they tried to make it like, oh, why don't you save this unlikable fucking cunt of a woman just because she's gay, or let the entire town get annihilated by a storm? Yeah, real tough choice there, guys.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So that's gonna bomb. I mean, the people who watch The Acolyte are gonna love it, but the rest of us will be like, so the
I
80,000
mean,
people who watch
the
Acolyte.
10 people.
Yeah. All right. One's coming out soon. We've been hearing a lot about it now. The animated Tomb Raider stuff.
Nope.
With
Tomb Raider
Haley
needs to die.
with Haley
Yep.
Atwell.
Womb
as the
Raider
voice of
needs to
Lara.
die.
It looks like shit.
Well,
it looks like shit.
Well,
so
well, here's the thing. It's also meant to take place after the fucking the reboot trilogy.
really,
Yeah,
Mm.
it's set after the fucking end of the.
it's done. No one's gonna.
I
care
stand
about
by
this
my statements. Tomb Raider needs to go the way of the dinosaur.
Listen, the trailer already got destroyed a few weeks ago, so this thing's not going to get any traction. It's done. All right, this one bugs the hell out of me because this has been a rumor for years now. They tried to say that Cavill was connected to this at one point. Don't do Mass Effect. Don't do it.
No, it's just going to be a bunch of gay dudes lusting after Asari.
Or they're going to make it gay femshep.
Here's the thing. It's a great story, amazing story. They're not going to do that story. There's no way they're going to, once again, they're going to chop it up, tear it apart, make it complete and utter shit. And yeah, no one who appreciates the game is going to appreciate the movies or the show.
Or they'll make it some other N7 soldier who isn't Shepard doing shit during Shepard's adventure. Why the fuck do I care then?
Yeah.
Why the fuck do I care? It's
Or
not
God
Shepard.
forbid they try to continue the story from Andromeda.
I don't hate it as much as everybody else does.
I don't hate the game either, but it's not as good, and it really
No.
doesn't fit very well into
It's not
the canon.
It's not Mass Effect. It's its own thing in the end. It has a completely different story. Watch Dogs. I never got into these games.
Oh, okay.
You're hackers.
Yep.
Damn the man.
Well, here's the
This
thing.
could be a good one.
I'm going to say this. The first game, what everybody was not really liking, but I enjoyed it. It was very simple. It was you were a criminal that did a job, and so you fucked with the wrong people, and then your niece gets killed, and then you essentially become Punisher with a hacking fucking code, and you could do all. You were just going down trying to find everybody that was involved in the death of your niece, and it was a pretty simple story of revenge and stuff. It was pretty neat, pretty nice. And it's the only game of the series I liked. I didn't like the other ones because they went too wacky and comical and try and turn terrorist hacker groups into like, yeah, we're just a bunch of wacky kids having fun and shit.
Didn't they connect it to other franchises too? Didn't they try to connect
I
it to
think
some
so.
other
I
Yeah,
think
they
they
did.
connected to a couple.
They did it to Assassin's Creed.
Okay,
couple
yeah,
times.
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, thank you.
Here's the
And,
thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And this is another one of the things like Until Dawn where it has no connection to the actual actual game it's based on. It's going to be not any of the game characters. It's going to be its own thing. Apparently, it takes place in the universe of it. And it's so stupid because the first game is so easy to adapt to a fucking movie. It's just revenge
Sounds
movie.
pretty simple. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Death Wish with a fucking iPhone.
I was just
dude.
gonna say that. It sounds like Death
Here's
Wish.
the thing. The reason I think this could do good is because it is, as far as a game series go, it's very open. There's not a massively well-known protagonist that is set like Shepard for Mass Effect.
Yeah.
You can have another world in there. And I think it goes good because right now a lot of people aren't too happy with the government. So having a hacking group whose sole, thing is to take down a corrupt government, I think could do good. The problem I see with it is they're going to put modern politics into it, and that's obviously going to be from one side. So it's going to be like president is going to be a Trump figure. You're going to have the hackers trying to prove he's
The hackers
corrupt
are going to be
and
trans.
bad.
They're gonna be
Yeah, their
trans.
hackers are half them are going to be trans, non-binary, this and that. They're going to modernize the whole damn thing to the point no one's going to want to watch it. But as far as a slate that they can do something with, this is more open than the other games. They could be creative with it and have something that could work as a show. I just don't think they will because they can't get out their own way.
That's a very sound argument, and I see no flaws in what you just said. It would work if they kept it simple, but they're going to ideological it up big time if they did.
Yep.
Sifu. This just came out last year. People liked it. It vanished.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why make a
didn't
show?
hear of it?
It was
It's
a
just
fighting
it's just
game.
a roguelike game. That's all it is.
Yeah,
Kung
isn't it the
Fu.
fighting game where you go through you age every time you die or something, and
Yeah.
if you get all the way to the end, you're a crippled man and you die and you're done with or whatever.
Pretty much.
weird.
That's all. That's it.
God,
It's
that
just
sounds
very-
exciting.
This is no reason. This is some retard. Some company said, "Hey, people like this game. Let's buy the rights to it and make a show," not knowing
Yeah.
that this is not the type of game that has any sort of longevity.
Yeah.
And hell, the story wasn't even. It's just a simple like revenge story where you play as your father gets killed when you're a young child and you're going after the group that did it, and you're just clearing out paths to fight the bad guys, and then that's it.
It's like you
Which
walk
is
into
why nobody's talking about this game anymore. It fell off completely.
you walk it kind of played like Streets of Rage where you could pick up anything as a weapon. I think you could pick up bottles and shit like that, if I remember correctly. And so
But with Alzheimer's.
Yes, at one point. It was just big fights. It was like bar fight simulator type thing, I think, essentially by the end.
Well, that's a loser. This is also a loser. Uncharted 2. Well, you didn't give us Uncharted in the first place, so why making another one?
You don't want to see Tom Holland reunite with
No, listen.
I know all the girls and the Hollywood exec types definitely want to see more of Tom Holland.
God damn it. All I know is that the first
I
movie
worded
wasn't
that
Uncharted.
carefully.
I know you did. The first movie wasn't even Uncharted, and I played the first 3 Uncharted games. I tapped out at 4 because I didn't have the appropriate console at the time, so I didn't care enough. And I heard I was fine because I heard they butchered the characters in the 4th one.
It was the starting point of a lot of stuff with modern Naughty Dog. Like it wasn't as bad as you're probably thinking, but there was some stuff that was starting to pop in.
Yeah. So I liked the first 3 games. I enjoyed them a lot. I've played them each a couple of times. It would have been real easy. Nathan Drake, another Indiana Jones type character, but no. Instead, you decide to make a big budget movie that is not even remotely anything like the games, and you're going to go again after that bomb. This thing's never going to see the light of day.
I'm a massive fan of the Uncharted. I actually liked 4. I do think that there was some of the stuff creeping in there, but I think the story as far as a whole was still, and the visuals were
my favorite's 2.
carried in.
2 is my favorite.
I do like 2.
Going after the Chintamani Stone, that's cool stuff, man.
But and so when I went to see Uncharted, it really pissed me off that they changed his backstory the way everything happens, how he meets Sully, all that kind of stuff. They just
Yeah.
butchered the story, and it was perfect the way it was. They could
And
have
you
just
had
taken
it.
it one for one from the video games, and it would have been great.
They gave you his backstory with Sully in 3. They gave
Yep.
it to you. I mean, it was
Yep.
right there. So this is going to be terrible. All right, last one. We made it. The Sims. Isn't that just reality television?
That's
Yeah.
that was my thought. Is like the Real Housewives of like pixelated New Jersey or some shit.
What? I mean,
Also,
You know.
I think they're giving it to. I think they're giving it to Margot Robbie and the chick who did Barbie. So
oh, listen. Greta Thunberg pulled off an amazing feat with Barbie. Ain't no way she doing that with the Sims. Ain't no way.
No, there's nothing there. I mean, like Pac-Man, sure, I get Pac-Man, right? You could do anything with Pac-Man, but The Sims is just people walking around in suburbia. That's it.
Yeah,
right. Might as well watch The Burbs or something.
What's going to be the story plot is they find out, a couple of the Sims find out that they're not in control of themselves, that they've been controlled this whole time by some.
Wait a minute.
So it's going to be like Wreck-It Ralph kind of idea. Is
It's
they're going
gonna
to find
be
out? Oh,
Barbie
wait,
all over again.
Or the Truman
Yeah.
That's
Show.
all Greta Thunberg can do.
yeah, it's going to be like the Truman Show a little bit. Yeah, they're going to find out that they've been controlled this whole time, and they're going to want to break so they have to get rid of their green jewel. That's going to be the plot. Is
You
they
just probably
go on an
nailed it.
adventure to find a way to get rid of the little green jewel above their head so that they can be in control of their own lives.
Dude, you just probably completely psyched that out, man. You probably just did it. Well,
Yeah, that sounds
I-
that sounds exactly like it.
I would say about 95% of these we say are going to be shit and shouldn't happen. A couple of them that should happen will not. Example, 40K, it's not going to happen because they won't reach a deal. Some of them are going to be shoe-ins, Mario, other stuff like that. But a lot of this is shit. A lot of this is shit and shouldn't happen. Just because Mario was a success, just because a couple other things were a success, doesn't mean you should start buying up properties and making movies and TV about it. It's just that simple. And you know what? This was the whole show tonight. Looks like.
Yeah, almost 3 hours.
Hey, listen, that was great. I'm glad I hang on to it. But I do want to make one small thing. This is going to make you guys smile. Samuel, Jed revealed something to me yesterday. He's starting Stargate.
His penis?
It's about time.
I mean, Stargate.
They've been fooling around with this for years, and finally,
Adam's just like, I got nothing.
well, the thing is, I haven't done the me and Jed are gay jokes for like a year now. I kind of moved away from that one, so I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for it. If you played that one like a year ago, I would have had an instant response. But no, now that he's getting married, I kind of moved away from that shit. No, he's starting Stargate. He watched the original movie the other day, and he's getting ready to do SG-1.
Good.
So I'm kind of thinking,
what did he think of the original movie? Because he hates everything.
He liked it. He liked it. He thought he actually liked James Spader as Daniel Jackson.
Nice.
He had a good time. He liked it for what it was. And he's excited to get into SG-1. So I kind of feel like with Jed starting SG-1, we might have to do definitely not a weekly, but a regular stream where we bring on Jed and we check in where he is and we just talk Stargate up to where he is. I think we're kind of going to have to do that. And it's because that he saved it because he knew I was going to be pissed about Dragon Age yesterday, and he saved it till the end of the show to make me smile, and he did. I was like, "Oh, you're going to watch Stargate?" Yes. So there you go. He's gearing up for it. So I think look for that, guys. Look for some future Stargate content because I think it's a prime reason to do it. Somebody first time in watching it, getting into it, and we'll just stop in every once in a while and talk about where he is in it up to it, and we'll just talk Stargate. So that makes me happy. I love it when people discover Stargate.
It gave me an excuse to rewatch it myself.
Yeah, I haven't done my rewatch in a long time. I really haven't, and I should. But I always have so much other shit to watch. And with that, I know we're done. We're done. It was a good show tonight, guys. Let's say our farewells and be on our way. Devil, what you got coming up?
Tomorrow we've got Wrong Think. We'll be talking about the upcoming next war, the election, any pretty much news that's been happening the past 2 weeks in politics. Then on to the pub on Friday going into Saturday. I don't have a guest lined up yet, so I got to start looking. A couple guests, in fact. And then check out Devil's Angels. We've got 3 videos up so far. If you haven't seen them, check those out. And hopefully Bug will have the next one to me here soon. And then after that, we have With Honors, which I'll give to him. I have to do the freaking timestamps and everything, which always takes me time too. So that'll be my next project here.
Man, that one's starring me.
Yep, starring Adam. Yep,
Bosley. Bug. Aside from helping Devil out with Devil's Angels, what you got going
on? Okay, so far I've just been working on stuff for Devil and other people. I've put up a couple of videos just giving my 2 cents on various stuff with the comic book things. I have some stuff in the works, but I will I'm not going to talk about them until I am sure that I could get them out. You know how it is.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much all I'm doing beyond just the usual editing. You know where to find me on the Twitters or whatever. You'll probably see me doing something stupid or screaming at somebody.
Samuel.
I don't have anything going on this week till Friday, so I'm probably going to work on. I've been playing Bloodborne again on my off time, and I'm like 2 bosses away from finishing it and then starting a new game. And once I finish the new game, I will have platinumed Bloodborne. Finally, years later.
I love getting a platinum.
So,
I love getting a platinum.
Yeah. So that's what I'm working on my off time. But yeah, on Friday we're coming back with we're having a quiz night on Abyssal Musings. We should have some fun guests. Still confirming those at the moment, but we should have a pretty freaking full panel. It'll be very heavily Dracula themed, specifically Bram Stoker's Dracula, because we're on the road to Halloween. And we'll have another Versus, I think, as well. And Dracula is definitely going to be one of the contestants. I don't recall if we decided on who the opposition is going to be yet. It might be just another version of Dracula, but we'll see how that goes. And then you can find me over on Devil's channel for Beelzebub about an hour after that. Then we'll be doing Screaming to the Void. Some weird shit came up with self-parking Teslas and Teslas that track you down in a crowded parking lot. So I'm definitely going to be making some noise over that, cause fuck that. and yeah, some UN shit. And then, whenever Amira goes live, I'll be helping out over on Exiled Lioness too, as well. And then back here on Monday. So,
okay. As for me, here comes the laundry list as usual. Throughout the week, go over to Renaissance Road Arcade. We're playing Dragon Age Inquisition. It's a little painful for me right now, but we're going to finish it up. So because I'm dreading October 31st, I just am. No 2 ways about it. Then let's see. Thursday is Rings of Power Season 2, Episode 7 review. Check that out. Also on Thursday, I forgot to mention it yesterday, even though I had it queued up ready to go. It's Anime Odyssey time, that time of the month. Derry and I were watching Kengen Ashura, which is basically a bunch of, as Jeremy put it, bunch of over muscly dudes fighting each other. So I got to start watching that tonight. 24 episodes. So
I'm
I
still
don't
stuck
know.
on you saying that time of the month and then Derby's name immediately after.
I have a way with words, don't I? Yeah, so I don't know how I'm going to respond to this one. I've never seen it, never been interested in it, and I've seen the images. kind of think it might be another situation of some point tomorrow I start DMing Dermy. Why the fuck did you make me watch this? I have a feeling it's gonna be another one of those. So that's Thursday, probably 8:30 p.m. Eastern on both our channels. I don't think we have a guest this month. Let's see. You guys have pretty much not come through for me. So, and I mean that in a funny way. We no more Agatha. I'm not doing any more. I'm done. I fulfilled my promise. I'm not doing it anymore. One video did okay. The other one didn't really get much higher than it is now. I may do a final when it's all over quick video of how it got really gay, but that's still another 6 weeks away. So no Agatha this week. None. It's not worth my time. There's nothing to it. It's empty. Let's see. Friday, Ballbusters, 11 p.m. Eastern. I have no idea who the guest is, so stay tuned for that one. Saturday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern This is Mordor Country, where we will have the panel breaking down this week's episode of Rings of Power. We roast it. We best time ever last week. Got it done in under 2 hours. So we feel pretty good about that. We watch it at double speed when we go over it. So catch that on my channel, on Jed's channel, on Dermy's channel, even on Alf's channel. Even though Alf had an emergency, he had to step away, he was left. His channel was left undefended as Dermy went off on a rant where he essentially said, "If being smart makes me bigoted, then I'm okay with that." Along with complimenting Hitler at times, I think he was just going off, and I just let it happen. It was the end of the show. I was like, fine, whatever. He had a meltdown. It was funny. And then I triggered him 20 minutes later on Chattery again with it. Then Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, roundtable. We'll go over the week's events in our own special way. And then we'll be right back here next Monday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern for another episode of Mellow Mondays, where we sit back, relax, chill out, and try to do dirty shit like we did tonight. So thank you one and all for being here. Hit that like button. Everybody's social media stuff is in the links, are in the description below. And remember, send me your suggestions, one per person, for the upcoming Saturday night drive-in. I guess we'll call it fans' choice, subscribers' choice, chat's choice. I don't know. We'll call it something. Anyway, send it. Make us suffer, because we know you are. I'm ready for it. Thank you, one and all. We'll see you guys, next time. Until then, take it easy.
Bye.